Nestled in the corner of West Texas, the town of El Paso. And for nearly 80 years, this has been the setting for a football holiday tradition, the Sun Bowl. As the sun sets on another college football season, the USC Trojans look for redemption after suffering a disappointment-filled year. Despite the struggles, the men of Troy still possess one of the most dynamic offenses in all the land, highlighted by Marquise Lee.
Marquise Lee, one man to beat, gone. They just couldn't catch up to him.
Making the journey west for the second straight year, the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech.
Touchdown! Holy smokes!
Georgia Tech likes to travel by ground. Their triple option offense is one of the very best in the nation and powered the Yellow Jackets to their 16th straight bowl appearance. Today in El Paso, East meets West. It's USC, it's Georgia Tech. It's the 79th annual Sun Bowl on CBS.
Welcome to the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. Happy New Year!
This is football El Paso style, huh? You stay in there, we go to the Sun Bowl, huh? El Paso! Take the camera first.
Well, you've got to add a little West Texas touch, don't you? When you come to El Paso, we welcome you to the 79th annual Hyundai Sun Bowl, the USC Trojans against Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. It's a 7-5 team against a 6-7 team. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson. We welcome you to the West Texas town of El Paso. Let's talk first of all about Southern Cal. #1 pick back in August, and everything seemed to go south. They come in here losing 4 of their last 5 games. In your mind, what happened to them?
I think what you started off with, Vern, when you were come back, you're Matt Barkley coming back to win the national championship. That's why he came back. USC plays for that type of football games. Once they lost a couple games, they had the Stanford loss, and then Oregon, that balloon just popped. And I think you could see it from then on that this team just didn't want to get through the season. Their hopes were dashed, and it just kind of snowballed.
Well, it really went south in their game against their arch rival UCLA.
Right.
Matt Barkley came back to win the national title and then suffered this quite serious shoulder injury against UCLA. He will not play in this game. So that leaves it up to Max Wittek.
Yeah, that's what happens. You know, another guy steps up. When you're at USC, you recruit the type of quarterbacks that really can step up. Max Wittek got his opportunity against Notre Dame. Was so-so in that game, but he showed you potential. He's got a rocket arm. He's 6'4", 245 pounds. He can throw the ball anywhere on the field, even in the wind that he's going to face today when we get to that part. But he's got a couple guys out there. When he throws the football, he's got guys that can go get it. And Lee and Woods, he's got 2 of the best in college football. We've seen a lot of great ones, but I don't know if I've seen 2 as skilled as these 2 guys.
Southern Cal comes in having lost their last 2. So also does Georgia Tech. They lost to Florida State in the ACC title game. They are in a bowl for the 16th straight year. Good news. They've lost their last 7. But, Gary, they do have the kind of offense that might give USC some problems.
I agree with you, Vern. I mean, the thing that USC might not want to see, they've been in the spread in the West all year. And now Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator against USC, gets to finish his college career against the triple option. It might be the perfect offense because of the guy running it. Tevin Washington was here a year ago against Utah. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes no matter what's dialed up for USC. He may not be spectacular running or throwing the ball, but he's good at enough at both to make this triple option go. He probably will give USC fits with the triple spread.
Well, this Georgia Tech defense has been susceptible to giving up points and a lot of yards, but they do have an outstanding linebacker in Jeremiah Atalchu.
He really is. I mean, if there's one guy on the Georgia Tech defense that can match up athletically with the USC defenders and offensive players, is Jeremiah Atalchu. He can rush from the edge. I think he'll have to do that. One of the keys to this football game is Georgia Tech must pressure Wittek. And if they don't, I don't know if that secondary can hold up.
Southern California, Georgia Tech. They are meeting for the first time since 1973. Back in a moment.
CBS Sports presentation of the Hyundai Sun Bowl is sponsored by the Home Depot, Taco Bell, Napa, and by Hyundai.
USC Trojans last played in the Sun Bowl in 1998. They lost to TCU. Georgia Tech was here a year ago. They lost in overtime to Utah. Matt Barkley, so many aspirations, Gary, at the beginning of the year, and then he was injured in the UCLA game.
Yeah, there's got to be a special place in USC football history for Matt Barkley and the transition he took with this football program.
And a moment ago, he spoke with Tracy Wolfson.
All right, Matt, first off, how's the shoulder feeling?
It's feeling a lot better. It's been progressing every week, every day, which is great news. So it won't hold me back in my future, which is great. No surgery needed. Unfortunately, just not good enough to go today.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, and it's been a disappointing season, obviously, one that you returned for. But what would you take away, though, and remember most about your career at USC?
A lot learned from this year, that's for sure. Just in terms of leadership, how to handle adversity. Been through a lot while I've been at USC, more than I think your average tenure at college, and so I'll have a lot to take away as I move on to the next level, whether that's, leading guys in the huddle or how to handle the media, the LA market, and all that has to offer. But definitely had a blast playing with my teammates who will be friends for life.
You mentioned your teammates, and you mentioned the leadership in the huddle, and today it's going to come down to Max Wittick. And how have you helped him in preparation for this game?
Just making sure he knows what he's doing. I think he'll do great today, whether it's in the film room, helping him with the little things, or telling him what I know about Marquise and Robert, just the little things in their routes to where they're on the same page with Max. And the offense, he's got it down. I think he's going to do a fantastic job today.
You mentioned to me earlier that you're going to be a cheerleader out here, but how else will you be involved today?
We all have the headsets on, listen to the play calls, what the coaches are saying, helping Max out when he comes on the sideline during defensive drives. And, it'll be a fun time out here. Hopefully we'll stay warm, but, I'll stay involved as I can.
Thanks so much for the time, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tracy, thank you very much. Class young man.
He really is. And Vern, let's talk about his kind of history at USC. Remember, Mark Sanchez left early, meaning that Matt Barkley had to play a little bit early. And then on top of that, when he came to USC, Pete Carroll had that thing rolling. All of a sudden, the sanctions, no bowl games. He had this team primed a year ago to be preseason #1. He's had a brilliant career with not as talented a USC players around him as other guys. I think he's going to have a great NFL career. Reminds me a little bit, not in style, but of the history like Russell Wilson. He went through a lot of ups and downs in his career, and look how he used it to move on to the next level.
Well, and among the other highlights and accomplishments for Matt Barkley, he was a finalist this year for the William B. Campbell Trophy, the academic Heisman, and was honored back in New York. And first on the field, the men of Troy. Head coach Lane Kiffin in his third year. We will talk numerous times, I'm sure, that Lane's dad, Monty Kiffin, has announced his decision to retire as the defensive coordinator. This is his final game at Southern Cal. And there is 37-year-old Lane Kiffin. Well, there are very few symbols that are as recognizable as the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. Unless you're absolutely convinced you got to have an animal.
Maybe the Boomer Sooner wagon, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I'll tell you, against the wind, the guy who brought the flag having to run has got the toughest job.
He's going backwards.
Look at that work he's got to do.
The car's gaining on him. Back for the kickoff right after this. Welcome back to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. USC and Georgia Tech in the 79th Hyundai Sun Bowl from Sun Bowl Stadium on the campus of the University of Texas at El Paso. Look at this. Here's the hardest working man in El Paso.
I mean, it is a strong wind. It's going to be a factor in a football game. It's a bigger factor with the flag.
Oh, look.
He's done for the game. He really is.
Oh, my goodness. Well, 49 degrees as we kick.
Yeah,
they're claiming the winds out of the west.
19
yes, exactly. 19 with quick gusts up to 45.
Right.
Well, fourth time these two teams have met. USC leads the series 2-1. The first meeting back in '61. Southern Cal won in '69 and '73. I might as well get this out of the way right now. The last time they played, Pat Hayden, who is the athletic director at Southern Cal, led the Trojans to a victory. 2 touchdown passes in that game. One to Lynn Swan and one to J.J. McKay, who is now the associate athletic director. There's Paul Johnson, head coach at Georgia Southern.
And Vern was a little down yesterday. He's fighting a little bit of he's a trooper out here today working this game. We visited with Paul. That's as most relaxed as I've seen Paul ever. He's a very intense man. He is all about discipline and working, and he was taking a lot of big picture talks with us. So when we were talking to him yesterday, really thinks that his team will show up and play well in this football game.
And Lane Kiffin, his counterpart.
You know what surprised me is when I read the notes, Lane is starting this year. Now there's been some new hires. I don't know about those guys. In his 4th year as a head coach, look at that note at the end. Still the 4th youngest as a coach, and that's an amazing accomplishment, especially when his 4 years have been at Tennessee and USC, 2 major jobs.
Southern Cal won the toss. They defer, so Georgia Tech will get the ball game. Andre Haidari will kick off, and Orwin Smith and Jamal Golden are the 2 deep men.
He's going to need a holder.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar, I think there might be 2 15s. I did a lot of homework, but not that much. Just doing the holding on this one. There's a lot of things to do for us here, though, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
And Vern was down, so I had to go to some parties for once.
Everything's just fine.
You feeling good? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Game day.
Just last 3.5 hours. That's it, and you're on your own after that. Okay.
You know, sometimes you got to talk hurt. There's the hold and the kick. Jamal Golden, number 4, and it'll be a touchback and come out to the 25-yard line. Tevin Washington, senior quarterback out of Wetumpka, Alabama. 37 rushing touchdowns. That is an ACC record by a quarterback.
Well, and one of the things that you grow to admire and enjoy about watching Tevin play is just how good he is at running this offense. He's seen it all. He'll have the team in the right position for every play. Nothing will fool him.
There's the option pitch back to the right side. This is Orwin Smith, number 17. And let's introduce you now to the Home Depot starting lineups. Bino, Mason, Finch, Uzi, all ACC first team at right guard. Waller, Smith, Sims, Godhide, and Moore, the wide receiver. Leading receiver for the team, Jeff Green, left the program and is going to transfer. He was the leading receiver with 18 catches for the year. Washington goes right, cut down immediately. George Uko, number 90. Defensively for Southern Cal, Horton, Uko, Williams, and Breslin, the front 4. Linebackers are Dion Bailey, Pollard, Burnett, and in the secondary, Roby, T.J. McDonald, son of the famous 2-time All-American and probably the best of the defensive backs. Starling and Shaw, the other 2 defenders. Third down, long.
And for USC defensive fans or fans, they made a few tweaks because of this offense. And that was knocked down by big Leonard Williams, maybe their best football player, freshman on that defensive line. He usually makes his impact, Vern, in passing situations like that, and you can see it. He is a monster. Now, will he be able to stay disciplined all game for this triple option? We'll see.
Well, Williams, might as well get this out of the way too, one of two Trojans who ran into some difficulty with tweets disparaging the city of El Paso. Both were he and Tony Burnett forced to apologize.
Oh, nice line drive kick.
Yeah, this is Robert Woods. So good coverage.
Robert Woods was only lined up 30 yards from the line of scrimmage because the kick was into the wind, and then it was line drive. You made a good catch on it, but a well-placed punt there and covered perfectly.
Chris Milton made the tackle on Woods. -3 on the return after that line drive punt into that strong breeze. And the quarterback making his second start now, Max Whittick. He started in the Notre Dame game. Silas Redd is the running back. He gets the handoff on first down. Young man who transferred from Penn State. And the Home Depot starting offense for Southern Cal. Walker, Turk, Colin Holmes, Martinez, and Graff, the offensive line. Woods, Grimble, the tight end, Red in the backfield. Aguilar is a freshman, gets the slot receiving spot, and then the All-American Marquise Lee. And Lee is top left. Whittick comes near side. A little too high. It was intended for Woods.
Well, one of the things that's tough to throw with the wind blowing like this, ironically, is the short passes, especially the ones out to the flat, because that's where you have to have it. It's kind of like a side wind. The more you throw downfield, the less it affects you, especially downwind.
Third down, 8.
Let's see if Georgia Tech can get any pressure on Whittick in these third down situations.
They rush 3, drop 8. And the pass a little too high for Woods on the near side. That was Chris Milton, number 18, getting the start today.
Yeah, Woods really goes up and goes for this football. Both throws to the outside were rocketed out there. They never really came down. But Milton, substituting in this game, made a good play coming over and getting the receiver and making it no possibility to catch. Both teams with 3 and out. And that was one of the problems USC had in the Notre Dame game, where they were only 1 for 8 in third down against Notre Dame.
Kyle Negrete is on to punt, and Jamal Golden back to return it. He's going to let it go.
That's going to be dangerous because it's downwind. It'll keep going.
Look at this.
That'll get down to the half-yard line. You got to catch those. This would be a day if you might even think about putting 2 players back there to catch those punts, because if it bounces, it's going to keep going.
65-yard punt. 45 on the roll. We'll be right back. Keep your fantasy football season going with Playoff Challenge and compete throughout the postseason for a chance to win up to $1,600. Sign up now at cbssports.com/challenge.
And Vern, let's talk about the challenge for USC's defense. I mean, let's be honest about this. This defense does not want to be playing against this triple option. Can they stay disciplined, keep their mind right all game, and handle all the different possibilities on the triple option?
Washington with a keeper out to the 5. Well, Georgia Tech started off 2-4 for the year, and Al Groh, the defensive coordinator, was released at that point of the season. They did win their final 4 conference games, and won the ACC Coastal title, in part because North Carolina and Miami were ineligible. And they lost to Florida State in the ACC title game, but they averaged 313 yards per game. Orwin Smith. Nice.
And Vern, I know a lot of people are saying that because of their losing record 6-7, as we look at this play again, how do you get in a bowl game with a losing record? But I think the circumstances that you just pointed out, that because of two teams not being eligible in the ACC, Georgia Tech had to play that extra game again in the championship. I think people looked at that and said they're really a 6-6 team, and we take 500 teams, and I think it was a good year. If you're going to give somebody an exemption, give it to Georgia Tech.
And they did have to seek a waiver from the NCAA, which was given, and they are here. Washington slipped. Well, not that many teams under 500 have played in bowls. Matter of fact, a trio: North Texas, 11 years ago, then UCLA and Georgia Tech.
And UCLA was the same thing last year because of the sanctions with USC. So, I mean, fair's fair, I guess. You know, I talked to Paul Johnson. I said, what kind of defense gives you the most problems? Is there a way they line up? He goes, good players. And that's what I think he's seeing right here. Is right now that defensive line, that defensive line for USC is showing that they're not getting blocked. It doesn't matter what play that they run. They might get fooled a few times, but Georgia Tech's offensive line cannot sustain the blocks. Monty Kiffin made some changes. We said, if you're a longtime viewer of USC football, made some changes at linebacker. Burnett, Bullard at middle linebacker starting, and Bailey, he said he wanted his fast guys in at linebacker to handle his triple option.
And Tech now faces 3rd down and 10, scoreless first quarter. Washington, right side, a little low, but caught by B.J. Bostic. Jawanza startling, number 29, defending on the play.
So this will be dangerous if now with Robert Woods back, he's backed up a little bit now from the last one, but if this is a line drive again and Woods catches this on the run, he's at about 38 yards. If he catches this on the run, this will be very dangerous for Georgia Tech.
Here's the punch.
He shanked it. Went right out of bounds.
Yep. 10:01 to go. Opening quarter. Sun Bowl, El Paso. I think most folks thought Matt Barkley was the leading contender for the Heisman back in August, and things just didn't go the way he had hoped. The USC season in review. They began the season top-ranked in the country in the AP poll, but came asunder early with losses to Stanford and Oregon. Marquise Lee did set a Pac-12 single-season record for receptions and receiving yards. Barkley was injured in the loss to UCLA. And then Notre Dame completed a magical season by beating USC out on the West Coast. And for the first time in 11 years, Southern Cal lost 4 of their last 5. This is their first bowl game in 2 years now because of the sanctions imposed by the NCAA.
Georgia Tech playing very deep, trying to take away, at least at the line of scrimmage, the first look that you can't throw deep.
Silas Redd hit and dropped almost immediately. Ijon Cross, number 94, made the tackle. Now let's get you up to date on the Georgia Tech defense. Cummings, Barnes, Cross, who just made that tackle. They do play a 3-4. Adeochu, Neely, Huntdays, and Watts. Red keeps driving. Brandon Watts, number 13. Silas Redd with a big 13-yard gain.
Well, Silas Redd to transfer from, because of the sanctions at Penn State, to transfer from Penn State. The healthiest he's been since the beginning of the year is what we've been told by Lane Kiffin.
Curtis McNeil, who shares That starting role with Red probably will not go today. He's had the hamstring injury. And here is Red. Tripped up and dropped.
Yeah, it looked like he juggled that a little bit. I don't know if he re-caught it or missed the handoff or not, but you know, that's the thing that as good as the receivers are, yeah, he did. He caught it and double clutched it, caught it twice basically going. That's very dangerous. As good as the passing game can be, and that's really what Notre Dame did well against USC. They didn't give them the running game. And that's, you can see it, and just watching here, that's the game plan for Georgia Tech. They're going to play very deep, kind of take away the look of the deep pass and say, let's shut down that running game and take our chances.
Trimble, the tight end, he goes out to provide a block for Marquise Lee. And that is Lee's first catch of the day. You were standing 3 feet away from him.
Yeah, I actually was.
Tweaked the knee.
It was just a easy passing play, just about like that for Robert Woods on that one. Excuse me, Marquise Lee on that one. That he was just a little bit off target. He twisted. He laid on the grass. T. Martin, his quarterback, his receiver coach, kind of made fun of him. I kind of even chimed in and said, you know, if you don't get up, I'm going to make you play for Georgia Tech, and you'll have to block all game.
Oh, dear.
And then there was a little question whether he could come back, but he says he's healthy.
Whittick can't get the stiff arm to work, and he's tackled short of the 20-yard line. Silas Red, the receiver from Whittick.
Yeah, Brandon Watts did a good job of just holding on for dear life. And let's talk a little bit about that Georgia Tech defense. Al Groh, as Vern told you, was let go after that 2-4 start. And they went to Charles Kelly, a longtime assistant coach, and his marching orders were simplify and make us play faster. And really has done a nice job in the second half of the season.
Andre Haidari, this was from 38 yards out. 10 of 15 for the year, and whoa.
Missed it.
Oh, he got it?
No, that went in front of the goalpost, didn't it?
I certainly thought it did.
I think that's got to be a replay, doesn't it? That did not make it.
That's Paul Johnson's claim.
That's got to be a replay. The other look was clearer, I thought, but watch the post and see if the ball goes in front of the post.
Okay.
It did. That was not good.
No.
That was not good. How can you miss that if you're right underneath it? Now look, that ball goes, it's like a penny. That's an inside joke here. But that ball went to the outside of the post, and that is not good, and it should be replayed. It is a replayable call. This is going to be Georgia Tech's ball on the 20-yard line. That's pretty embarrassing if you're the official standing under the post to miss that one, isn't it?
I'm thinking it's an egregious mistake. I wanted to work egregious into the telecast.
Well,
the previous play is under review.
As it
the
should
ruling
be.
On the field was the kick was inside the upright.
All right.
I think everybody on the field knows it wasn't good.
Well, you and I had the same reaction when he raised his hands, I thought.
And Paul Johnson knew it too. I mean,
really?
You just stare at the post, the upright, and you can see the ball cross.
There you are.
Can't be good. This guy, look at the official down here. He's looking up at it, and he didn't see it.
There you go.
You don't see that every day.
No.
A missed call and a field goal.
One more look.
Yeah, he knew it was missed too. You know, back in the days without instant replay, that was just park it away.
It'd be 3-0. Yeah. 3-0. Well, Paul Johnson was halfway out to the 20-yard line.
Right.
I do believe Haidari knows that they're going to take these points off the board.
Well,
Bill Lamonier is the referee, and he'll be on the mic here
It's been a while since I've had a Big Ten crew. I'm going to just hold here for a second to make sure.
Spoken like a Purdue graduate.
The kick was outside the upright. The ball will be placed at the 21-yard line.
All right.
First down, Georgia Tech.
One of my...
All right.
We got it right. That's all that matters.
You come to the Sun Bowl, you get to see a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Back at the Sun Bowl in El Paso after the negated field goal. And Orwin Smith, we're told, on the bench with an injury, perhaps happened right there.
Yep, I think it was on that first down run for the only first down of Georgia Tech, and he's in.
Let's get more from Tracy.
That's exactly when it happened, Gary, and he's actually not even out here. They took him into the locker room, looked at that left shoulder, and I was told he will probably not return, guys.
All right, thank you. And a change of pace at quarterback now. The redshirt freshman Vad Lee, number 2, has replaced Tevin Washington. Has played considerable minutes this year.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a rotation going on, and you can see a little bit of a different look. Vad Lee, he's a freak athlete. You're going to see it right here.
Pretty good example, wasn't it?
Yes, and one of the things I talked to Paul is, what's the next generation of your triple option spread? And he goes, we're going to continue to try to tweak and become different. But he said, what I'd like to do with Tevin and Vad Lee, and Vad Lee's the future. He's a 4.25, 4.3, 40 type guy. He can throw it. And he says, when I have a guy like that can run the offense, I can do a lot of different things. And you can see it right here. It's a little bit of the spread pistol.
That was a 24-yard gain for Lee. Now he hands it off to the right side. B.J. Bostic, number 7. And that wasn't going anywhere, as Nikel Roby, number 21, was there to make the tackle.
So a little bit of the speed option. And, you know, I said Paul was real honest and everything. He wasn't honest about this. He told us about this stuff. Much as he may like you, he doesn't trust you.
Oh, dear.
Gary. I said, what's the next generation? But you can see when you've got the new types of offenses and quarterbacks that can do those things, you can give different wrinkles. But the wrinkles get ironed out by great athletes.
Yeah. George Uko was all over that, number 90, and a loss of 4. Third down 5. Lee for the season has rushed, well, now over 500 yards, following that 24-yard scamper a moment ago. Here's the toss right side to Sinjin Days, number 10. And Tony Burnett made the stop.
And that's the speed at linebacker that Monty Kiffin was looking at in this football game to try to run these plays down. If it wasn't Burnett, it would have been Breslin, number 91. And that's the type of athletes you need up front, and keep them engaged to do their assignments.
Sean Poole is on to punt. This for the 3rd time. I bet he's ready for the change of direction at the quarter. Robert Woods is back at the 13-yard line. Last time out, Poole shanked one, 22 yards.
That was a good catch that time.
Yes, it was. Not much there for Woods. Good downfield pursuit by the Georgia Tech special teams. 4:57 to go opening quarter from the Sun Bowl. Scoreless so far. We move into playoffs next week on CBS. On Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, Jim and Phil will be in Baltimore as the Colts, victorious yesterday over the Houston Texans, take on the Ravens. Saturday in the AFC at Cincinnati at Houston. And then on the 12th of January at 4:30, the lowest remaining seed will visit the Denver Broncos, and the highest remaining seed will head back to New England. The NFL Today at 4 o'clock Eastern, and it all begins with JB in the group. The NFL Today, Sunday at 12 Eastern, presented by Southwest Airlines. Windy, cool day here in El Paso, Texas. The breeze from the west, we are told, at 20 miles an hour, it seems more substantial than that.
Yeah, it does. And USC is now looking at, 5 minutes left in this first quarter with the wind. I really think it's going to affect the punting and kicking more than the passing, especially with Whittick. He can rip the ball into the wind. It won't affect him that much. Maybe on a couple short throws, but I don't see it affecting his strong arm.
Marquise Lee heads top of the screen, wide left. That's Grimble, the tight end, number 86. Whittick hands it off to Silas Redd, who's been the workhorse in that backfield today. And Quayshawn Neely had an interception for a touchdown.
Let's talk about,
obviously
USC are very talented individual players. But remember who Georgia Tech has played, the last 2 games. I mean, they went Georgia and Florida State. There's nothing on tape or not one athlete on the field that Georgia Tech hasn't seen in the last couple games.
2nd and 8. False start.
2nd and long.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd out.
It was called on Marquise Lee. Well, this season, the first 7 games, 6-1, and then stumbled to the finish, losing their last 2 to UCLA and Notre Dame. 2nd down, 13. Woods up on the line to the right side. Aguilar is the outside man. Play action. Whittick in some trouble. Quayshawn Neely finally got to him.
Look what Charles Kelly is trying to do. Very subtly, keep it simple, but make it difficult for the quarterback. It looks like 2 deep. But at the snap, the corner falls back, and they actually roll to the left of Whittick. It confuses him a bit. Instead of a 2-deep zone, it's a roll to the one side. And so it's a simple but subtle defense that Charles is running. Charles Kelly, the new defensive coordinator.
And he said he was very close to Al Groh. And when Al was dismissed, left a note on his desk. Oh, nice catch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Robert Woods saved a bunch. It's still going to be 4th down, but.
And there's Charles right there, a graduate of Auburn, a high school football coach. He was on the staff with Chan Gailey. He made the cutoff, basically. Paul Johnson hired him. Learned a lot from Al Groh, as Vern told you, and now, in very tough situation, has to take over the job. And he's done, I think, a nice job. Did very well against Florida State. Watch that tape, and had a nice second half, shutting them out in the second half.
Kyle Negrete is on to punt. And Jamal Golden, who a few moments ago let one bounce, and it went for 65 yards. This one will take a sideways hop and go out of bounds. Well, this is an appropriate promo. Tonight on CBS, take a trip to paradise and leave winter behind. Hawaii 5-0 only. CBS. It sounds enticing, don't you think?
Been there. It's been a while, but I've been there.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you.
You're headed though, aren't you?
Well, New Zealand. Yeah, I'm going right over Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah. Ms. Nancy and I are heading south. Badley is still the quarterback. Had an effective first series. Let's see what happens here. Up the middle, nice quick opener. And that's David Sims, number 20. His first carry of the ball game, and Sims with 513 yards. There's Washington.
And I think Tevin understands that a bowl game is also used to get the quarterback ready for the next year. I mean, Tevin's been through a lot of football games,
right?
And Badley is going to be the guy next year. It doesn't mean you disregard Tevin Washington, but you give everybody a chance. That's a big first down for Georgia Tech, Vern, for an important reason. It should get them to the second quarter where they can punt downwind, should they have to.
And, you know, by the same token, you're talking about Barkley. This is important for Max Wittek on the other side of the ball.
Yes.
Giving him the reps in the 15 days of practice. And it's not a given he'll be the starter, but he certainly will go into the fall as the favorite. David Sims again.
Verna Morgue-Uzi, you mentioned him, all ACC guard, back-to-back plays. He's done a nice job. He's at right guard right there. And back-to-back plays, gets his man, turns him out, and makes the play that time against Uke, number 90, and Uko, excuse me, number 90. And you can see why Uzi and Uko are going to have a battle there, and I'm going to try to keep the names straight.
And I understand why it's a little confusion. This is Zenon, Tony Zenon, number 9, with his first carried ball game. Typical of these option offenses, they use running backs like they.
Here'll be an interesting use, by the way. If Georgia Tech doesn't make the first down, will Lane Kiffin use one of his timeouts so that he could force Georgia Tech to punt into the wind?
3rd and 7. Scoreless game.
You can see Georgia Tech is trying to bleed the clock down as much as possible.
Oh, they may take it for
They did. They took a timeout.
They took a timeout. Yes. Okay. So 26 seconds remaining. Opening quarter. Sun Bowl from El Paso. Third down 7, Georgia Tech. Trying to win for the first time in the last 8 bowl games. And that's something very much in the mind of Georgia Tech players.
It's a great bond. Guys, you know, we've been through it all. You know, that's one thing we kind of talk about all the time. We've seen the best our freshman year, and we've seen some not so great years, you know, throughout. So, you know, we had to keep strong. You know, we kind of, you know, keep each other, you know, keep the team up, and also have each other back.
We've known each other for the last 5 years, and it's kind of like, you know, everybody knows everybody, and it's like a brother-to-brother relationship.
We need this win. You know, we're gonna play our hearts out to get it. You know, it's like being so close, year by year by year, and you kind of get tired of it. You know, you're ready to win, and you know, I'm looking forward to winning.
Well, unfortunately, Orwin Smith in the locker room, and we do not expect him to return with a shoulder injury. Tevin Washington has given way to Barkley. 7 straight losses in bowl games, including here a year ago in overtime to Utah. 30-27 in that one. Lee. Oh, ankle tackle. That was Tony Burnett, number 34.
Well, I was ready to do Uko, Uzi, Uko, Uzi, but this time it's Leonard Williams. That's going to. David Letterman used it at the.
Yeah, and it didn't go over well. No.
I mean, he's on TV, makes a lot of money, you know. But a big first down for Georgia Tech on the quarterback drop.
Shannon,
Uzi,
yeah,
come on.
Uma, Oprah. None of us forgot. First down 10.
I wish I would have forgot.
You know I'll follow you anywhere. That's the end of the quarter. Scoreless. We had one field goal negated by review. We'll return to the Sun Bowl after this message and a word from your local station. And we welcome all of you back to El Paso, the 79th Hyundai Sun Bowl, featuring Georgia Tech and Southern Cal. A scoreless first quarter as we get set for the start of quarter number 2. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, or Vernie and Gary.
Call me Danny.
Danny, okay.
Vernie and Danny, we're using our nicknames.
And Tracy is with us down on the sidelines. No score in the first quarter of play on a chilly, chilly day. And Georgia Tech, Barkley is the quarterback. at midfield. Lee will throw. No, he won't. Yes, he will. And he's got a man wide open. So inside the 30.
That was very succinct. I like that, the way you made that call.
Yeah.
Back to throw.
I got egregious into the telecast, and you get succinct.
No, he won't. Yes, he will. That was very good. Yeah, you know what? Barkley is the future for Georgia Tech.
Right.
Max Whittick is the future for USC. I think USC is going to have to, right now Georgia Tech is lining up just by alignment, not letting the ball go deep. They're going to have to attack the alignment and throw deep anyway. They're going to have to loosen up an already loose defense.
And on first down, David Sims with the carry. Sims 4 for 18 now.
The pivot point of a Paul Johnson offense is the fullback. His first 3 years at Georgia Tech, the fullback gained 1,000 yards. Of course, he had Jonathan Dwyer.
Right.
Since then, he has not had that 1,000-yard back, but you still have to be able to run the fullback, and USC knows it. Haves Pollard right there just took that right out.
That was David Sims with the carry again.
It's called the B-back in this offense, and that time Pollard took it on and stopped it. 3rd and short, and you almost wonder if, thinking about Paul Johnson and this offense, are they in 4-down territory right now?
Well, they've gone for first down on 4th down among the top 5 teams in the country. There you go. Oops.
They pitched it and they got it, didn't they?
T.J. McDonald made the stop.
See, that's the tough part of this offense and why they will just rack up yards against, I think, superior athletes, because you got your defensive linemen standing there. Okay, they've been told all week, squeeze the blocks. Make sure who has the football. Don't run. Stay in your spot. You got assignment, and all of a sudden the ball gets pitched wide, and you're going, what happened? Where's the fullback? Where's the ball? But a successful 3rd down call.
And a first down 10 now for Georgia Tech. 2-3 yards. Well, 2008 up to this game, 20,142 rush yards.
I do think the Vad Lee wrinkle of being able to run some spread triple option will be an important addition to this offense as they go forward in the ACC or whatever conference they end up in.
Yeah, that's the key these days. And there's a nice run down to the 5-yard line. The one thing I think we all know, it ain't over.
No, nothing's in permanent ink anymore, is it?
No.
You just, until further notice, and this time an inside handoff to got high, and again keeping, it's easy to start out these football games again. I've seen it over and over and over again, covering this triple option for 20 years. You start out all disciplined, and then you lose your focus.
Lee.
And let's be honest about USC. I mean, they wanted to play on a Monday, a bowl game. And they wanted to play a team from the Southeast. However, they wanted it to be from the SEC, and they wanted the game in Miami next Monday.
Right.
So they're going to have to concentrate on this football game, because the one thing when we talked to T.J. McDonald and Marquise Lee and Robert Woods, they don't want to get embarrassed out here, and that can happen really quick.
Well, and motivation for Southern Cal very much on the table. How inspired are they to play?
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
Haves Pollard is inspired, I'll tell you that. The middle linebacker and the free safety, T.J. McDonald, have to be ready to play football, and they both were on that one, weren't they? Number 10 and number 7 made the play.
Verizon red zone stats for the season, just above the national average, 40 touchdowns, 62 possessions. This is the 14th play of this drive.
And if I'm calling plays for Georgia Tech, I'm thinking of 2 calls here. I don't want a stinking field goal.
Jay Finch, the center, snaps it back. Lee heads through. He's always got a man wide open. Touchdown, Georgia.
Beautiful play.
David Sims with the catch.
David Sims snuck right underneath the outside linebacker. Probably was their two-point call. You know, one of those things they had stored away for this situation on the field. A little rollout and slip your fullback just inside. One call and badly put it right on the money.
How about this? Second catch of the year for David Sims.
Why even cover him, right?
Chris Tanner with the extra point.
Slips him out right underneath and gets him in there. Watch the fullback go right underneath the defensive end here. Yep, got him. What do? Do you get the quarterback or do you get the fullback? Go for the quarterback.
Barkley leads Georgia Tech, leads them rather, on a 14-play drive and the first touchdown of the game. Back in El Paso, Georgia Tech, an impressive drive led by the redshirt freshman quarterback Barkley. He finds David Sims for the touchdown toss, and it is 7-0.
Tevin Washington said he's a freak athlete.
Wow.
So when you got, you know, your partner at quarterback, he's not there mentally yet to run the entire offense, but he's got all the skill in the world.
David Scully will kick off for Georgia Tech. Marquise Lee and Nelson Aguilar are the two deep men. Through the end zone, riding that wind. And let's take a look at the touchdown from our Avis action cam.
Well, this gives you a better picture of the defensive end right here that's put in a kind of no man's land as he's got to decide what to do. Should he take the inside fullback or the quarterback?
And now Southern Cal trailing by 7. Curtis McNeil is on the field. We thought we might not see him, bothered by a hamstring.
I don't think that ball got tipped either.
No.
I think that was just kind of a lackadaisical throw into the wind, and it didn't cut into the wind at all, and that you can see what happens. You got to fire the ball all the time, and he kind of threw it. No, it was tipped. It was. Got up front. Eisencross got a tip on the ball. I apologize to Mac because I thought at first it was just got into the wind, but it was Cross that got it.
And so a second down 10. Out of the spread. McNeil, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Ijon Cross again, number 94.
Two pretty good back-to-back plays right there.
And a third down 10. Whittick with time, sends to the short receiver, Marquise Lee. And he picks up the first down.
Well, that's what you got to live with a little bit if you're Georgia Tech. They're dropping 8. 3 players rush that time. Max Whittick had all day. You know, no matter, you could drop 10. And Marquise Lee and Robert Woods eventually are going to get open. Watch Whittick finally finds Lee, and watch the acceleration by Lee. When he catches the football, the Blitnikoff Award winner right there shows you why he had all those accolades and All-American honors.
112 catches in regular season. Here's the toss. McNeil. Nice little step in the backfield to avoid the tackle. Interesting, the almost reverse numbers for Robert Woods and Marquise Lee from a year ago. And both men have been phenomenal.
Well, and it's the running game that really has to start coming through. I think, you know, even for Lane Kiffin, the way he likes to call a game. You know, I followed him at Tennessee. I followed him before. He likes to run the ball and run the offense after. And who are we looking at down there?
That is the leading tackler.
Wow.
Jeremiah Atalchu.
So they've lost Smith already and Atalchu, George, and they're already playing without Isaiah Johnson and Chris Milton down. That's 4 key players for Georgia Tech. They might be out of the football game.
Well, time has been taken as they tend to Jeremiah Atalchu. We'll be right back.
CBS Sports presentation of the Hyundai Sun Bowl is sponsored by Geico, Verizon, Red Lobster, and by Hyundai.
7-0 Georgia Tech here in the Sun Bowl in El Paso, and on the bench, Jeremiah Atalchu. Let's see, Gary, if we can figure out what happened.
Tracy Wilson said it might be his left arm. She's down there. I think she's right. Watch, Robert Woods shoves Atalchu right here, and then the helmet hips, I think his left elbow, maybe hyperextending it. Yes, see that hyperextension? It was almost like RG3 got hit on his knee, and the same thing happened to Atalchu's elbow right there. So Tracy's just not down there having hot chocolate. She's working.
Oh, yes, always. The Wolf. 2nd down 5. Algalore in motion. They slip it to McNeil, and he slips and gets nothing.
Now let's talk about USC. I mean, they've had a great year on offense, but most of their yards have been through the air. You know, this is not a team. This is not a vintage offensive line. They returned 8 starters from last year's team, but I think they missed. You know, they just don't have the power on that offensive line that they used to have before.
3rd down 5. Whittick with a swing pass. McNeil fumble. Recovered by Georgia Tech. First turnover of the ballgame. Jabari Hunt-Days, number 32, comes up with it.
I tell you, Rod Sweeting made the play, and it's the theory of the defense. Let's play a soft defense, very similar to what Notre Dame did. Let everyone look at the quarterback and then rally to the football. That time, Sweeting comes. Actually, he dropped the ball. McNeil actually dropped it before he got there, didn't he?
Yes.
Somewhat of an unforced error, and then the recovery right at the end by Hunt-Days.
First turnover of the afternoon. Tech has the ball and a 7-point lead. And we are back to play the previous play under review.
Yeah, it was pointed out to me afterwards that that ball might have never been controlled by McNeil on the play. And that's probably, does he have it? Is he bobbling it? Does he control it? You know, to me, he has the football. I know that we were just told by the booth that referee that when in doubt, they call these an incomplete pass. Well, he ran with the ball for about 3 strides, but the question is, did he ever completely have the ball?
Possession. That's the thing about you. You're just a traditionalist.
I'm trying to go on both sides of this one because I haven't been wrong yet this year.
No.
Can I get on both sides of this thing?
Do those pickets hurt?
Following the video review, it's been determined the pass is incomplete. 4th down. Clock operator, set the clock to 8:28.
Sorry.
I know you did a good job.
Thank you.
You still haven't been wrong.
No, I was half right.
And I'm asking you if those pickets on that fence hurt.
I would have never thought that until we got in here during a commercial and somebody said, I don't think he had it. Oh, no. Okay. I missed that.
And so we've had a field goal called good, negated, and we've had a fumble called recovered, overturned. So Southern Cal still has it. Kyle Negrete will now get to kick this thing into the wind. Jamal Golden is back. Here's a fun fact, if you will. Negrete in his career, and he won't have a touchback here, he's never punted the ball for a touchback. Wow, that's extraordinary, I think. While you were attending all those parties,
that's pretty good.
I was doing my research. Not only that, Gary, there's a fair catch call. Kyle Negrete's grandfather was the great Jim Sweeney.
Very good.
Yeah.
Look at
Oh, look at this. A Taucho.
Must be the X-ray machine must be on the second level.
He knows his way around the Sun Bowl better than we do. And we welcome you back to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Coming up, the Geico halftime report will reveal the Red Lobster Scholar Athlete of the Year award. Go outside the huddle with Southern Cal's visit to Haiti earlier this year. And take a look at the plays of the year, all coming up on the Geico halftime report, hosted by Tracy Wolfson. 8:20 to go, first half. Southern Cal, Georgia Tech meeting for only the 4th time ever. Lee. TJ McDonald with the tackle.
Well, Vad Lee, the redshirt freshman, 6'1", about 215 pounds. Told you he runs in the 4.3s and a 40-yard dash. Paul Johnson says he can throw the ball just fine, and we will have a bigger package next year as he learns and continues to grow in the offense.
That last play, the only touchdown of the ball game, caught by David Sims. With the score up the middle, David Sims on cue.
Can't stress enough, talking to coaches who face this offense, how difficult it is for those defensive linemen to stay disciplined. If you watch number 90 that time, Uko that time, I'm going to get it straight before the end of the game. You see Monty with the hat on right there, his last game. He ran around the block. He can't do that.
David Sims stopped on that play. And this was Tony Burnett, number 34. Paul Johnson, a graduate of Western Carolina, 1979, where he played for the late Bob Waters. 2nd down and 10. Here's the option, left side. Lee, boy,
see that?
He can run, can he? Yeah.
That's kind of what. And listen, all respect to Tevin Washington.
Right.
He has plugged through his career, done a lot of great things at Georgia Tech, got him, to 3 straight bowls as the quarterback, but he does not have this burst. And that is going to be something that the ACC and the people that play Georgia Tech will see, a quarterback that can turn the field upside down like that.
And a 1st down 10 with 6:35 to go, first half. That's Washington. Lee looks deep, goes deep, got a man open. And it is overthrown for B.J. Bostic.
The toughest thing throwing downwind is not just the quarterback being able to hit the receiver, it's the receiver judging the ball. And Bostic right here goes right up the seam on the play. Oh, I'm sorry, he's in the slot right there. Goes right up the seam, but when the ball's in the air, he thinks he has it. But it goes farther than he thinks. He misjudges the wind. He actually started cruising. If he would have accelerated through that thing, he would have had it. It's not just the quarterback, it's the receiver judging the deep ball.
And that leads to a 2nd down and 10. Yep, delay a game.
Delay a game. Offense, number 2, 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Now let's take a look at today's poll question. This one's fairly obvious. Who do you think will win the BCS National Championship? You got 2 choices. Log on to facebook.com/CBS Sports. Let us know. Alabama, Notre Dame. coming up a week from Monday. That is today. A week from today. Intercepted. That one's picked off by Lamar Dawson. And that becomes the first turnover of the game since we had a fumble recovery negated by replay a while ago. So Lee throws the interception. That's his 5th interception of the year.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive. A punt is what you really need. This ball is going to try to dethrone the inside seam, and Lee tries a little too hard of a throw. There's the interceptor right in the middle of the field. Go up and get the football, and that's just a little bit too hard for this Georgia Tech offense. Lamar Dawson gets the interception. You can see when you're going against USC, they're used to seeing the ball in the air on defense, especially in the Pac-12.
Second pick of the year for number 55. Toss. Silas Red comes near side and doesn't get much at all. 6 minutes to go. First half of play, 7-0 Georgia Tech.
Soma Vanuku, the fullback that time, got a great block. He cut the player. The player got right back up and got in it. Georgia Tech is rallying to the football. That was the goal for this Georgia Tech defense. Keep your eyes on the football. Don't turn your back. Keep it simple. And so far, they're accomplishing their goal.
Woods and Lee both top of the screen. Vanuku, the fullback, comes bottom of the screen, and here's Whittick and a flag. Might have seen Lane Kiffin do a little leapfrog down on the sideline.
Ball start. 70 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second half.
Yeah, and the reason Xavier Grimble was going to catch a big play, that's why Lane Kiffin was upset. He had exact play he wanted on there against the 2 deep.
Andre Walker, left tackle, number 70, call for the false start. Second down, 14.
You know, you work as a play caller, you get the exact thing you want, and then they jump off sides just as they're snapping the ball.
Play action for Whittick. Oh, that could be picked off. It is. Down the sidelines, Rod Sweeting.
Yeah, he stepped out around the 50-yard line, though. Rod Sweeting sat all over that throw. Remember, Max Whittick is a freshman quarterback. And no matter even if he's second year in this offense, he does not have the experience. And these DBs right now for Georgia Tech are reading his eyes. I think it's the Sweeting right here. He backs up on the play and then reads the quarterback. Deep guy goes, he sees the tight end breakout, and he cuts right in front of the throw on the play. A beautiful job, exactly what you're supposed to do in the zone defense.
Just got touched, and it was enough to knock him off stride and out of bounds.
Yep, his right foot as he was crossing over was the one that dropped out of bounds, but a big turnover right there.
Under 5 to go first half. Here's the sweep right side. Tony Zenon, number 9.
TJ McDonald, number 7, is the alley runner. He's a free safety. He's a returning All-American football player. He, along with Matt Barkley, came back for this run in a national championship. He can close some ground and make some tackles, and that time he made that run and made that tackle. It was a pretty impressive play.
Father, of course, he is Tim Jr. His dad was a 2-time All-American in the Southern Cal backfield. Bad Lee with the carry. Tim McDonald, USC captain in '86. You know, you think back over the years, all the Heismans and the quarterbacks and the running backs, boy, they have developed some pretty good defensive backfield.
And that C meant a lot to TJ right there. That C on his jersey right there. That's one of the reasons he wanted to come back. Said he lived and breathed Trojan football growing up.
Lee in trouble.
Nice big play out of nothing there, right?
He sure did. Wes Horton with the tackle.
This was well defended by USC. trying to get the ball to the outside on the counter option, defended on the outside, forced to come back. That time of Morgan Breslin, number 91, took on the block and turned it back, but Badley just a little bit too athletic.
8 carries, 57 yards for the Georgia Tech quarterback now. Oh, boy.
Breslin again. That fumbled, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Breslin forced it. Wes Horton recovered it.
That's a great play by Morgan Breslin. He's more of a pass rush specialist, but watch him on this play make the play. Gets cuts right inside and comes from the backside on Badley to force back-to-back turnovers. One by USC and a thank you back by Georgia Tech. I think USC needs to go deep. Throw it deep. Match up your 2 great receivers against the safeties for Georgia Tech and see if Robert Woods or Marquise Lee can go up and just kind of steal some big yards.
Lee will start in motion, then set up to the right side. Play action. Little short pass to Lee out in the, oh my goodness. Yeah, I think so. Tackled by air.
That didn't look right all along.
No.
There's something about that play that just didn't, I don't know if they didn't get the play right or something, but it just didn't appear to be. I mean, they completed it behind the line of scrimmage. It just seemed like a weird play.
It was almost a shot put from Whittick.
Right now, by alignment, Georgia Tech is taking away the deep balls from Wood and Lee. You can't let a team do that.
Now he goes deep. Oh, almost picked off again. That was Jamal Golden.
Marquise Lee, but you can see these 2 safeties are telling the quarterback not to throw the ball deep. Sometimes you just got to force the ball deep. Marquise Lee says he got held on the play. He might have, to tell you the truth.
3rd and 10 after the fumble recovery. 7-0 Georgia Tech. Wins it. Robert Woods has it. And it's a first down, Southern Cal.
Well, the middle of the football field, if you're going to throw those crossing routes, are available. You have to kind of guide it around those linebackers, but you've got a guy that's willing to go in and get it. We saw the beginning of the game, Woods went up high to catch him. You know, if you put it anywhere in range, he's going to grab it.
23-yard gain, first down 10. They hand it off this time to Silas Red. So Southern Cal driving for the tying touchdown now with 2:17 to go first half.
That's what you're kind of used to looking at in days past for USC, that tailback getting that ball north-south and changing the defense to allow those pass receivers to get behind the linebackers. Remember, USC will get the ball to start the second half, so this drive really big.
2nd and 2, first down Southern Cal and more. Nice stiff arm by Red. Out of bounds inside the 10.
Well, Silas Red had a big run, but John Martinez, number 59, came around and got the big block. Watch Martinez right there, right guard, fold around and fit inside on the linebacker perfectly by Quashon Neely, and that allows Red to get into the secondary and finish off a big play.
First and goal. Three wides to the right side. Up the middle. Silas Red. Jabari Hunt-Days with the tackle. Well, the Verizon red zone stats for USC right on the national average, 32 touchdowns and 52 trips inside the 20.
Georgia Tech continues to stay in that soft two-deep safety look. And USC runs it against it.
Oh, boy.
He got it back, though, didn't he?
Yes.
Big bounce. Lane Kiffin is taking a timeout here, I think. Ball bounces right back to Silas Redd. Play is made inside, poked loose on the play, I think by T.J. Bams, isn't it?
Yes, it was.
Bams.
So Southern Cal uses one of its three. Stops the clock with 53 seconds to go. Tech leads by 7. Coming up at the break, Geico halftime report hosted today by Tracy Wolfson. All kinds of interesting tidbits as we take a break here in El Paso. The Geico halftime report. Now, two timeouts left, 55 seconds to go. What do you
Vern,
expect?
right now mentally, Max Whittick is still struggling a little bit, but you got NFL receivers. I think the key decision is by Georgia Tech here. The one time they rushed 4 guys, Whittick made a completion. Do they drop 8 and force Whittick to read an 8-man coverage? That'll be the key.
Well, Georgia Tech uses one of its timeouts. They have 1 left. Southern Cal has 2. Well, play calling down in this area has been the subject of some conversation, has it not?
It sure has. Remember, this was, the second time inside the 4-yard line or 5-yard line against Notre Dame. 2 fourth-quarter goal line stands, and then the 4th down drop pass by Vanuku right there. And Lane Kiffin, I don't know, half kicking himself. Should he have thrown earlier? Remember, it just wasn't that touchdown to win the game. He needed that and more points.
Well,
Vern, one more point here. This throw is into the wind. As a quarterback, it's easier to turn the ball over to get it to dip, to throw the fade into the wind than it is downwind.
Put it back, goes right side. And Silas
He
Redd
caught it on the second and scored with
yes. How about that?
Caught it on the second bounce, and did he get the pylon? Remember the fumble that wasn't caught? He catches it again, and controls the football. That's the right call.
I think so.
Catches it again, and then scores. I think Sweeting would have had the tackle, but when he saw the ball bounce up, he went for the ball and then lost his leverage.
Andre Hadari with the extra point, and we are tied, and Silas Redd with a marvelous catch. Great reaction.
And we talked about the decisions. That time the decision by Whittick was good to drop it off. And Rod Sweeting, the corner, just didn't let him get outside, and that was the touchdown.
Late first half, tied at 7. Southern Cal, 49 seconds to go. Well, it's always tough on all of us when we say goodbye to a trusted member of the crew. Neil Ambrosia, known with great affection by all of us as Knuckles. And
there he is.
Moving on to other things, this is his last.
I was hoping he'd say one more year so I could figure out what he does.
Yeah, that's true. And this has been a weekend of attrition. Scott Sickler, our technical director, taken to the hospital last night and was operated on this morning for acute appendicitis.
Did he use your bed or your room?
Oh my God, no! I was in the ER.
Oh, okay.
No. And Isaac Benetek, one of our videotape operators, doing pinch hit duty for Scott. This is at the goal line, Jamal Golden. That was ugly. And just while we're in this vein, Gary, a word of we missed Julie Carrick, our associate director. Had to miss this event because her mom is battling serious illness, and all of us miss having Julie with us. Now then, 42 seconds to go.
I think Georgia Tech has to be, they're not likely to drive down the length of the field. They don't want to give any reason on a pass play or an incomplete to stop the clock and allow Lane Kiffin to use timeouts. They should just get it to halftime.
Yeah. David Sims with that carry. And the clock shows 29 seconds to go.
You almost can make an argument for taking a knee here. You know, as we watch this first half end here, Vern, I mean, there was a lot of question whether USC would show up. Is it too cold, too windy? It's not, you know, Miami. I think they've showed up and played pretty well.
Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, we had Notre Dame, Miami here, and we had a snowstorm. Notre Dame was used to that. I'm just saying Miami was not used to it.
Was not.
And they thought, man, it's cold here. And they got thumped. The end of the first half with the score is 7-7. And Tracy is with Lane Kiffin.
Thanks a lot, Vern. An important touchdown there, but how would you assess how Matt Whittick has done in this second start?
Well, not an easy start, you know, coming here with this wind down here and the way that it is, and we haven't done much around him, unfortunately, but our defense has played really good in the first half. We get the ball to start the second half, and we'll get back on track.
Is this wind affecting what Robert Woods and Marquise Lee are able to do out here?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. You know, I mean, it's blowing down here, the ball sails, and unfortunately we can't get it out to them enough.
So how do you adjust there?
Well, we got to run the ball better and find a way to get it to him quick.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Vern?
All right, Tracy, thank you. Halftime 7-7. We'll be back with Tracy in the Geico halftime report after this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the Geico halftime report from the Sun Bowl here in El Paso. For Matt Barkley and his Trojan teammates, the 2012 season fell short of expectations on the field. But as the memory of the season fades away, this Trojan team will be forever united and remembered for an incredible performance that had nothing to do with football.
Immediately after the devastating Haiti earthquake of 2010, medical assistance and aid poured into the island country. But 2.5 years later, hundreds of thousands are still in need of safe shelter and housing. While the quake has not destroyed the spirit of the Haitian people, scars from the tragedy, both visible and hidden, still remain.
I was on my way to fetch water when the earthquake happened. I fell to the ground when it started to shake. After the shaking stopped, I went home to find my house destroyed. And my sister died in the earthquake.
I was with some friends when the earthquake happened, and we felt the ground shaking, so we started to run for shelter. The next thing we saw were homes falling apart, and the streets were covered in white dust.
One organization that continues to provide regular aid to Haiti is Hope Force International. Les Barkley, the father of USC quarterback Matt Barkley, has accompanied Hope Force on several trips, and most recently brought along his son and a contingent of Matt's USC teammates.
We literally left the day of graduation, and it was kind of a blessing how it all came together. I first asked some of the guys I was closest with on the team. Then I realized I wanted to kind of include some of the younger players who might experience what it's like to serve and be that servant leader. They wanted to jump on board, and I think if we could have let it happen, everyone on the team would have come.
The Barkley family and 15 USC players landed in Haiti on May 12th.
It was kind of a shock to us all when we got to Haiti. The airport itself was still kind of in shambles. Then we got into the bus, and it kind of opened everyone's eyes up to the decimation of the country and the poverty that people were living in, cardboard, shacks with just a tarp over their heads. Seeing trash everywhere was a rude awakening as to what we're going to be dealing with for the next couple of days. But it gave us a lot of perspective, that's for sure.
One of my favorite memories from our whole trip was taking all the football players to this amazing school that had been destroyed. Our guys brought down school supplies and spent the day there with them and then played with them. It was an amazing day, and we got an email from the principal of the school the next day saying That was the first time those kids had laughed since the earthquake.
The children said they were very nice and they liked the way they played with them. The players hugged and held them. Some of them would sing to the children, and in return they would sing to the players.
In addition to visiting the school and a small orphanage, the players built homes for 4 families in desperate need.
The lasting image for me is the boys up in the rafters building the house in 95, 96 degree weather with an equal amount of humidity, and how hard they worked, and then watching them stand there as the homes were completed and taking pictures with the families. Having that experience is a lasting memory for me.
I was happy to see these young committed to help our community because they don't know me and they want the help. It was very encouraging to see this.
My children are able to keep their belongings safe. Before we didn't have security, but now it's different. Our living situation has changed for the better. This house means hope. Hope for the future.
We got more out of it than we gave. And you go down expecting to give these people and to serve, but then while you're there and while you're serving, while you're helping out, your heart has changed in a way that you wouldn't have expected.
I asked one of the kids, "Was this your home that we're building?" He said, "No, this is my friend's." But I'm just helping him because I know if he has a home, I have a home. And that's one of the things that stuck with me is just how helpful they were and how it was even for them. They're helping someone else.
Everything we do is beneficial to us over here. We work out, we want to get stronger. We practice, we want to win football games. But when we went to Haiti, the thing about it was we weren't working to benefit us. We were working for somebody else. And if we can do that work to benefit somebody else, then you can't tell us that we can't play 4 quarters of a football game. That we can't go out there and give it our all for 60 minutes.
One of the best things about Haiti was we didn't hear all the internet talk, all the media talking about the Trojans, USC football, 2012, all the national championship talk. There was none of that. They didn't care about football. They cared about relationships in life and people. We came for a short period of time, but we did make relationships with those people, and hopefully those can carry into the future, and those houses can be a reminder of security and a sense of comfort and peace amongst a crazy situation.
We want to thank our colleagues at the CBS Sports Network and Adam Zucker for that tremendous piece. Regardless of the outcome here in El Paso, these Trojans will always be remembered as champions. And when we come back, a final holiday gift to ring in the new year, the Plays of the Year.
Welcome back to the Hyundai Sun Bowl, El Paso, Texas. We get set for the start of the third quarter. Southern Cal and Georgia Tech tied at 7. Moments ago, Tracy Wolfson with Paul Johnson.
Coach, 2 big injuries with Orwin Smith and Jeremiah Talchu. How important is it for people to step up in their places now?
Well, we've got to have some guys step up. Orwin may try it. I don't think Jeremiah's going to be back, so that's a big loss.
We saw Vadli take over for Tevin in that first half. Will we see Vadli finish this game?
We're going to start with him the second half, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Paul looked like he wanted to stay for at least one more question, don't you think?
That's pretty funny. You could tell the body language after question number 1.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think that's the right decision. I mean, Vadli had 2 straight turnovers, the interception, the fumble. But what the heck? It's 7-7 against USC. He's going to probably be your quarterback next year. Max Whittick, I think, on offense. Listen, Georgia Tech has taken away the short pass and the outside of the field with that deep kind of umbrella coverage. The middle of the field or the deep ball, I think you really have to go to the middle with play action pass. I think Woods and Lee over the middle, it's a little more risky, but there is some opportunities there.
Well, 7-7, and Southern Cal, having won the toss and deferred the option, will get the football to start the third quarter. Marquise Lee and Nelson Aguilar, the deep men. There's Whittick David Scully will kick off. (7-7) halftime, Sun Bowl, El Paso. And we could use some sun. Riding the wind, and this one will be counterpunched out of the end zone. It's Marquise Lee, and he gets to the 21-yard line.
Well, you see big Marquise Lee going up top, and nice tackle. Lee does tend to try to get above, kind of always tries to hurdles the guy right there. And if you look at the first half, the big story, Vad Lee coming in there, showing a little bit of spark. Max Wittek, so-so again, in my opinion. One key decision for the touchdown pass late that got him going. Got it tied.
Right. So the swing pass to his tight end, Xavier Grimble, number 86, and the tackle made by Jabari Hunt Days, and will complete the trends.
And then the final big story is, for whatever reason, by alignment, it has really taken Lee and Woods out of the football game. Let's see if Lane Kiffin doesn't try to be a little more aggressive. He's got a young quarterback. Does he try to throw the ball in the middle of the field to get his two receivers involved?
Grimble and Randall Telfer, the two tight ends, go tight right. Silas Redd. Jabari Hunt Days, number 32, with the tackle. They're down 3. Marquise Lee is top of the screen. Limited to 3 catches so far. Woods has 2. You can see they passed on 3rd down every opportunity so far, and they do again, and this is incomplete. Aguilar was the intended receiver, and Rod Sweeting, who has an interception in the ball game, was defending.
Yeah, and Sweeting kind of guessed on that one again. He just figured it was going to be a slant. He almost beat the receiver to the spot that time.
So Kyle Negrete is on to punt again, and Jamal Golden is back to return it. Whoops.
You can see the type of kick they're trying to use into the wind, and it backfired.
Here's Golden. One man to beat. Nice move. Down the sidelines, and did he get in? No, he did not.
I thought Golden started to cruise.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah.
I thought Golden thought he had it all the way, and then he started to cruise, and did he get to the pylon, or did he step out? It's very close.
A delayed call.
A low kick into the wind run. Remember, Georgia Tech elected to take the wind this way in the 3rd quarter. It might have paid off. He thinks he's got a touchdown. He does not see Aguilar behind him. And I think he might have been out before he got to the pylon. See, he looks back. I don't know he got there. I think he was short maybe by a half a yard.
Well, we'll check upstairs.
Maybe a half a foot.
Yeah.
Previous play is under review.
See how he looked back? I think if he would have sprinted right through the line, he might have scored. Boy, that's so close, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Remember, as you all know, the tip of the ball at the front of the line signals a touchdown. Now, is he down before the football? Because clearly the football gets to the line there. But does he touch out of bounds before the line, before he gets to the line?
Well, let's see from this angle if that's gives it.
I think he's down about a half yard short. Yep.
I do too.
right foot or right knee looked like he was about a half a yard short. And I thought the surprising part for right there is when he looked back, you could see his eyes. He thought he had a touchdown.
Following the video review, it's been determined the runner's knee was down out of bounds. The ball was at the 1 yard line. First down.
Now remember, last time down here, Georgia Tech was forced to throw the ball to score.
Right. Well, it was a delayed call and overturned.
But as we said, Vern, earlier, the wind is going to affect the kicking and punting game as much as anything in this football game, and it did right there.
So first down and goal, and Tevin Washington is back in at quarterback.
And I think this is smart because you take the experience down here. You don't want a fumbled exchange or anything.
Washington, 38th rushing touchdown of his career. Right, whoa.
Now this one may be another review.
And he thinks we talked too soon.
Was his left knee down before he stuck the ball out across the line?
That's the call.
Remember, it was called a no touchdown.
There you go.
His knee was down, ball's not there.
Right. I'm just anxious for New Year. So
Hayes Pullard that time did a nice job, number 10 on that tackle.
Second and goal. This time. Touchdown.
Quarterback sneak, and before he lost the ball, they're saying he crossed the plane. Michael Roby is saying we got the ball, but it. And I really like Paul Johnson's call right there. Go with the experience. Speed is not going to mean a lot near the goal line. He went with the guy. He was dependent on catching the snap, doing the ball handling, and making the short yardage. He gets across, and then the ball comes out.
One more look from the opposite side.
How about the push from behind?
Got a little push there.
Yep.
Yeah. Chris Tanner for the extra point.
Doesn't quite equal the push.
No, not quite.
In importance, but same thing.
Jamal Golden took that short punt and returned it 56 yards. Ruled out at the 1 yard line. It took 2 plays, but Georgia Tech breaks the tie. They're up 14-7. Tevin Washington leading a little celebration on the Georgia Tech sideline.
Well, they want to win bad, don't they?
Yeah,
Tevin
they do.
Washington, he's going to have touchdowns. Up there with some big names, I'll tell you that, huh?
Colin Klein, who will be matched up against Oregon later this week.
Interesting decision by Paul Johnson. Of course, Lane Kiffin takes the ball. It was his first option, so here's how it went. Lane Kiffin says, I want the ball in the second half. Paul Johnson now must decide, does he want the win in the fourth quarter or the third quarter? He says, I'll go with it in the third quarter, forces USC to punt against the wind to start off. Big turnaround. Very interesting decision, but remember, USC has the ball in the fourth quarter.
Right. Here is the kick. A good one right through the end zone over the head of Marquise Lee. Now let's welcome the Duck to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Time now for the trivia question of the week. Who was the last non-SEC school to win the BCS National Championship?
Well, the good news for USC, they're balanced. The bad news is it's 62-61. This does not look like a very good USC offense right now.
Aha.
This middle of this field has to be attacked or they need to go deep. Play action over the middle. How do you get that spot? Oh, he got hit.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if it slipped or did he get tipped as he let the ball go. Was it Emmanuel Diake that got a piece of that throw, or did it just slip out of his hand? Brandon Watts, number 11, came from the outside. The outside linebacker put his hand right on the football.
And so 2nd down and 10. Early moments, 3rd quarter, 14-7 Georgia Tech. Whittick with a half roll, drills it out of the right flat, incomplete.
Not quite enough patience again that time. If he'd have rolled, he had Aguilar, number 15, wide open.
Whittick now 8 of 17, so modest numbers for the redshirt freshman quarterback.
Wanted to show Aguilar how he breaks open back to the outside. See, it's a not wrong read. He's got him just a little bit more patience. That's one I think Barkley would be a 4-year guy, would see that a little bit better than Whittick.
Silas Redd, the running back. Now Marquise Lee goes over to the slot right side.
They just had a mess up and they were forced to take a timeout.
Georgia Tech scores on its opening touch of the football. 56-yard punt return set it up.
CBS Sports presentation of the Hyundai Sun Bowl is sponsored by Sonic, Autotrader.com, Aflac, and by LG.
Well, we are back in El Paso, 14-7 Georgia Tech. Gary raises a very interesting point about that last ruled incompletion.
Yeah, we use our commercials wisely, I guess. Look, was this ball out before the hand came forward? Yeah, that could have been called a fumble. USC caught a break. The replay official didn't take a long look at it, and that ball's out before his hand comes forward. In my mind, that could have been called a fumble.
And instead, they did run another play. So the use of replay negated, and it's 3rd down and 10. Four-man rush. Whittick fires it incomplete.
And they're
up at the 40-yard line.
I think they're going to call 2 penalties on this play. I think they're going to call holding and roughing the passer. You could see the referee. See, he doesn't have a hat on. That means he already used his flag, and he has to go with the hat.
That's very astute of you.
If there's 3, your shirt has to come off. That's all you got left.
Holding,
Is holding.
Offense. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Those penalties offset. Repeat 3rd down.
See, Dieke that time, number 93, was almost trying to catch the quarterback on the play. He knew the ball was going. The holding was on Watts, number 11. And Dieke, number 93, is the guy who got called for the penalty on roughing the passer.
And a fresh opportunity now to convert on 3rd and 10.
Basically, I believe USC caught another break on this play.
Yes. Whittick dropped. 4th down. Xavier Grimble, the tight end.
Quayshawn Neely, number 54, did a great job of playing and defending this play. It would have had to have been a perfect pass and catch, and it was not. I'm very impressed with the Georgia Tech zone defenses that they're using. They're guessing the plays. They're playing very fast. Max Whittick has to think a little quicker. He's a little half step behind right now.
Negrete on the punt. Last one returned to the 1-yard line. That's a fair catch call for. Taken at the 34. Tomorrow on CBS, it's the law versus the mob in the city that's part battleground and part playground. Catch the new hit drama Vegas tomorrow only. CBS. You know, there's a rumor that some of our production folks have found a new route back to New York.
Really?
Yeah, you go west from El Paso and you stop in the Nevada desert.
They're going to Vegas, aren't they? They're going to Vegas.
We called them out. Robert Godhigh. number 25.
Look at Leonard Williams that time. The young freshman, Pac-10. Tremendous football player. Number 94, he just goes down the line. I think that's him right there. I circled just about everybody so I could find him exactly who it was.
Excellent job.
But he gets off the block, and then watch him run sideline to sideline. People around USC say he may be, in the long run, the best NFL football player eventually.
Bad Lee is back in the quarterback now. Option left. Trouble. Nice.
Going nowhere.
Yeah. But there's Pullard and Morgan Breslin. Loss of 2.
This is about how USC started the game. Beating blocks aggressively, forcing the quarterback to turn back into action. It was their lack of ability to keep doing it. They keep concentrating. That's the thing. Against this offense, you have to keep concentrating on your keys and your assignments.
3rd and 7. Wow. Intended for Jeremy Moore, number 83.
About the best thing that happened for Georgia Tech that time is the ball hit the ground. Because if that thing would have been up a little higher as Paul Johnson is going to his guys, what was that? Bad series all along. We didn't block anybody. We didn't run the right plays. Everything was, as he's even yelling at his all-ACC Usually that time, not a very good series for Georgia Tech.
Sean Poole on the punt on 4th and 7. They do have a lead of 7 points. Woods at the 25, coming left, going right. Can't escape the tackle of Matt Connors. 14-7, but the last series did not meet with the pleasure of the head coach of Georgia Tech. .26 to go, third quarter. Georgia Tech with a touchdown just after halftime, and they lead it 14-7. And let's cue the duck one more time. The trivia question: the last non-SEC school to win the BCS National Championship. And I suppose you could make a pretty good case that this was one of the all-time great games played in the BCS title. Texas Longhorns beat Southern Cal 2006 in the Rose Bowl. A fellow named Vince Young had a pretty good game.
Yeah. USC fans might not vote for that one, to tell you the truth.
Understand
that's one of the best games.
No, I understand.
Was the one where Pete Carroll went for it, right? Remember late in the game?
And if I recall, he didn't have Reggie Bush on the field. Is that right? I'm just now I'm stretching my memory.
I think that's right.
I think so. First down and 10. Nothing. Silas Red. Sean Green, number 97, with the tackle. Loss of 4 on that play.
Good call again by the defense for Georgia Tech. They bring the corner blitz. It's a run blitz this time from everybody for Georgia Tech. Is slanting to the field. They got the perfect call on. They bring the corner from the weak side and slant to the wide side. They outguess Lane Kiffin, and they got the perfect call on.
Second down, 13. Officially a loss of 3 on the last play. That's Grimble. With it, play action. Right side deep, incomplete.
I tell you, Paul Johnson was talking about guys have to step up with a few of the stars out. I think Brandon Watts, number 11, has stood out. The AK, number 93, but Rod Sweeting, number 6, I think has played an outstanding football game. The corner to the wide, the left side of the field, at the top of the screen. He's been making plays all day. He had that one kind of missed tackle for the touchdown, but he has an interception. He's been all over the field.
And playing in his 54th game for Georgia Tech. That's a new record.
And he's seen a lot of receivers in the ACC.
Oh, wow. And played with a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Calvin Johnson was gone before Sweeting got there. There's a pass to the 30. That'll be a completion, but it will bring up a 4th down. Robert Woods makes the tackle. So an ineffective series for Southern Cal.
to say the least. It all kind of turned around on first down, and it was a great call. Georgia Tech in the right defense, and it went downhill from there. Well, Max Turk got away with holding on that one. Yeah, he did. He was holding Dieke the whole time and got it. In fact, Dieke ran right by the quarterback and couldn't get loose to turn around and make the sack.
Golden is back to return Negrete's punt.
Another low one.
This one bounces both directions. 8:50 to go, third quarter. Sun Bowl, El Paso. First televised on CBS in 1968. No, I did not. I think Lindsey Nelson's all right.
Really?
And it's now time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success. You talk, I'll cough. We got this thing down.
Yeah, take a cough drop right now, and I'll handle it for a few seconds. The Georgia Tech defensive coordinator Charles Kelly has his team playing soundly at all three levels. Defensive line, linebacker, and the pass rush. He's got a good game plan. They're playing hard, and Charles Kelly kind of auditioning for this job, doing a pretty nice job. And I'm not making fun of my partner. He's been struggling all game. He made a trip to the hospital 2 nights ago, and he's playing hurt up here.
No, talking hurt. Right now. And that leads me to a segue. Jimmy Rogers, who is one of the legends of this Sun Bowl, sat with me, and everything's fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Tevin Washington's back in the game at quarterback, by the way. Did you say that? I wasn't listening.
No, I didn't.
But, I think that last series probably, changed, what his decision on trying to get it to go pretty well. And there was so many things that weren't working well that he said, let's go back to our senior and we can go from there.
14-7, 8.5 to go, third quarter. Fourth meeting between these two. Georgia Tech in the bowl last year. There's up the middle again. Nice run, David Sims.
Sims carries to the USC 48-yard line.
Last time Southern Cal was here, guys, they faced TCU in 1998. And we'll continue that later. Let's rock the replay.
Watch, Ugasi kind of pulls, and they pull the fullback hand the ball to the fullback right behind Ugasi that time. Didn't even have to block anybody. Ugasi kind of runs it out there, and there's nobody even to block. Good call that time by Paul Johnson. Stuffed inside, huh?
Just a note on that. TCU came in. They were 16-point underdogs to Southern Cal. And a young man who was the captain of that TCU team named Landry Burdon. I had occasion to talk to him last week about the Doak Walker Award because his suite mate was a freshman named LaDainian Tomlinson.
Pretty good player.
Yeah, he turned out okay.
It kind of was one of the pivot points for the TCU program.
Absolutely. Yes, it was. Third down. Owen Smith, who was hurt in the first half. Good news for him. He is back out there.
Well, Ray Bino that time, number 64, could not get the block on Wes Horton, number 96 for USC. And we'll see if Georgia Tech is going to go for it on fourth down or try to draw off USC. But Wes Horton had no part of that one. Bino tried to get at his legs, and he could not get the block.
For the season, Georgia Tech is 23 of 36, 64% conversion rate on fourth down.
They might be just trying to draw him off sides, though. This would be almost like a turnover. Well, I'm surprised that Paul Johnson took a timeout instead of a delay of game. That means that he may still decide to go for it here.
He does have a stern demeanor.
Oh, he does.
Both teams back on the field after the Georgia Tech timeout.
Totally agree with this, though.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You got a young quarterback who's struggling to drive the ball the length of the field. The only time they scored was off of a turnover in a short field. I think you got to punt it. Remember, USC's going against the wind here for another 6.5 minutes. I think this is the call.
So Sean Poole is on for the punt. Robert Woods to return it.
Wow. He just got all of it downwind. That thing just kept going.
Goes into the end zone.
Tonight on CBS, it's New Year's Eve, and Two Broke Girls are sending the year out in style. Get the party started with Two Broke Girls tonight only. CBS. Well, we're very close to Fort Bliss, and members of our Army always welcome here to the Sun Bowl. They always turn out in great numbers. Both schools make an annual visit to whoever the competing teams are here to go out and visit with the soldiers at Fort Bliss.
Vern, another reason they had to punt, I think, you know, so far in the third quarter, USC's got 9 total yards offense.
Wow. They're going to get a couple more. Oh, not many. There was another slip for Marcus Lee. Marquise. That's his 4th catch of the day.
Nothing dynamic, though, right? For Lee, nothing dynamic.
No.
I don't know. I just can't help but think as I watch this game so far is that, you know, this is the offense with Whittick that Notre Dame faced. And I wonder how different the game would be if Matt Barkley had played against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Nothing against Notre Dame. They should be there, but you just look at this. They have trouble mounting a sophisticated offense with Whittick in the game. They do not. They're probably, in my opinion, playing with half the offense.
Because of the youth, right?
Excuse
or the
me?
talent. Because of the youth or the talent?
Yeah, well, he's obviously very talented, but, you know, I just don't think Lane trusts Max Whittick with the whole offense. I mean, Matt Barkley's been doing it for 4 years.
And here's Max Whittick. Mater Dei High School, Newport Beach, redshirt freshman. 3rd and 8. Whoops.
Another miscommunication right there, under a little pass rush again, and, you know, didn't quite get it off. It was Dieke again, wasn't it?
Yes, it sure was.
He shifted to the other side that time. He was lining up on the left side of USC, and this time he switched to the right side, and I don't even know if he was blocked that time. Came right off the edge.
4 straight 3-and-outs now for the Trojans.
Looked like Whittick might have hurt his hand or arm a bit on that play, too. He was definitely favoring it.
Ready in punt formation.
Oh, look at this punt. See, I think that hit a Georgia Tech player and a very smart play. Did it Damon Smith, number 12, I think, did it hit his back? I think it's going to be USC ball. That's a bad break for Georgia Tech.
Wow.
Now, one low punt resulted in a long turnover. This time it hit Damon Smith's, was it his right? It hit his right arm, his hand or arm. And, you know, both players reacted. Aguilar reacted to it, and so did the returner. Jamal Golden saw it too. They both saw it, but Aguilar got there first.
And so the turnover gives the Trojans a 1st down.
And there's really nothing you can do about that.
No.
I mean, that's just unfortunate. A bad break for Georgia Tech and a good break for USC.
Looks like we're going to look at it
Previous
upstairs.
play is under review.
Yep. It seemed fairly obvious to us that it hit Smith on the arm.
I almost saw it live here, you know, to tell you the truth. Right here's where it happens. Ball comes down. Yeah, it hits him in his shoulder, and I think Aguilar, number 15, sees it right away. Remember, Nelson Aguilar is running right next to the player, and he sees it and goes for it right away.
Well, the call was that Smith was touched by the football and then recovered by Aguilar.
This time it's up here on the opposite side. Obviously, we got the behind the punt returner. I don't really see anything definitive.
Review. The ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was touched, recovered by SC. First down.
Right. Our cameras were so far away. It was better to see it in just live.
Real time. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So a good break rather for the Trojans.
Don't you just have to? I've been saying this since the first quarter.
Go deep.
Go ahead, don't you?
Go deep.
Go for a jump ball. You got two basically NFL receivers. Go up and try to catch one.
Nope, not this time. Silas Red to the 42.
Because the USC offensive line is not distinguishing themselves. They cannot block or handle the Georgia Tech defensive line or linebackers, outside linebackers. Getting those huge gaping holes you're used to seeing. Remember the old days, but even under Pete's days where they would just clear it out and let that tailback get going north-south.
Keep it on the ground. Red for a couple.
And here we go, third down again. The Trojans for the day are 3 for 11. They were 1 for 9, I think. That's what I wrote the note down. I don't have it in front of me, against Notre Dame. And they need one badly here.
Third and 6. Southern Cal, no first downs this half. Now then. Italy fourth down.
I'd go for it. I'd go for it, I'll tell you that. Little slip pass here again, very simple. They're not allowing the quarterback to make the mistake. Little slip screen pass. Again, Georgia Tech playing everything in front of them, keeping their eyes in front of them and rallying to the ball.
4th and 4, Southern Cal trailing by 7.
Same look, two deep safeties playing zone.
Riddick, that's tipped, incomplete.
Down, yep.
Ball goes over on downs. Ijon Cross, number 94.
Ijon Cross was being blocked by two guys, and what do? You J.J. Watt it. That means you jump up and knock it down. And Cross did it that time. Two guys on you, it's a short pass, and Ijon Cross goes up and gets it. Boy, you put two blockers on a guy, and he's the one that knocks the pass down.
First down 10, Georgia Tech. 2:42 to go in the third. Washington deep left side. Oh, good pass.
Well, that really was, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's Jeremy Moore who made the catch.
You know, what did Paul Johnson tell us about Tevin Washington? He says, all year, I've tried to let the young, really athletic quarterbacks take the job. And you know what happens? They never take it. I give them opportunity after opportunity. And even though Tevin's maybe not as gifted athletically, I always end up going back to him, and he just makes the plays.
27-yard gain. And they'll test the middle on this first down play. That's David Sims. Inside the 30.
It's the first time in Paul Johnson's career as a head coach he has not had a 1,000-yard rusher. Even though they get large yards per attempt, they don't really have that superstar running back this year.
Right. 2nd and 5. Sims again.
Sims carries for a first down to the 21-yard line.
Vern, they came right back to the same play they ran behind you. Morgan Uzi that time. Going to pull the guard and fold the fullback right behind him. And he didn't have to block anybody on that one either.
And a first down 10 with 1:37 to go in the third. And of course, Southern Cal will get the wind at their backs in the fourth quarter.
Same play again.
Yes. This time it's Zach Lasky.
Morgan Smith, the ball carrier, brought down at the 18-yard line and a 3-yard gain.
Going to pull Uzi again, number 77, and follow the fullback right behind him. Remember, off of that play, they have the counter option, so they can fake it to that fullback, spin out, and run the option behind it.
Final minute, third quarter. Fullback dive. That's Zach Lasky, and Leonard Williams makes the tackle.
Now you have to start thinking, if you're Paul Johnson, do you take a timeout? So if you don't make it, you have an opportunity to kick a field goal with the wind.
Both teams with 2 remaining, final 34 seconds to go, and that wind has not subsided.
No.
At all since early this morning.
They should be able to run the play and decide afterwards, though. Paul is way down on the field, so he looks like he's trying to make up his mind. He'll probably have 9 or 10 seconds left. No need, doesn't matter.
No. Lasky for the 3rd consecutive play.
Doesn't matter, they'll let the clock run and go to the 4th quarter now.
They reset the chains rather, and that will be the final play. That's the end of 3 with our score 14-7, Georgia Tech leading Southern Cal. We will return to the Sun Bowl right after this word from your local station. Final 15 here in El Paso, the 79th Sun Bowl, featuring the Trojans of USC and the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. And Tech leads it 14-7. They've got a 1st and goal inside the 10 on the first play of the 4th quarter.
This drive started out with that pass from Tevin Washington that set up the whole drive, and then it's been a lot of fullback runs since then.
Washington keeps it and gets 1 or 2. 2nd down and goal.
It's an interesting call for the triple option offense right here. 2nd and goal. These are tough yards. This time it was going to be a quarterback keeper. Follow the Deion Hill, number 31, but never got into the lane. Do you throw the ball here on 2nd down? You know, it would be a passing down in a normal offense. It'd be interesting to see what happens in this offense.
Exactly. And Washington is 2 of 3 in the ball game.
False start. Worst thing that could happen.
Boy.
Ball start. 72 offense. 5-yard penalty. Main 2nd down.
Yeah, I guess it's not the worst thing can happen. Morgan Bailey, number 72, kind of rocked back. Right here, I think he is. Yep. Rocked forward. Let me rephrase.
You're still thinking about Uko and Uzi.
Yeah, that's right. Long past that.
2nd down goal. Washington in real trouble.
Yep.
George Uko.
Was Uzi trying to block him?
I think so.
Well, you could see Uko show his ability right there. Is that him right there? It was.
Yes.
Uzi missed Uko. Uma Oprah.
Somehow I knew.
All right, I know. I'll get killed for it. So what? It's El Paso, bowl game.
Just hit 7
right.
3rd and goal.
Remember, this field goal will have to go against the wind, too, if they get stopped.
Washington back, a lot of time. Ball flutters a little bit. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
A missed tackle.
It was a throwback all the way. Mikel Roby that time, I think, was the guy that missed the tackle at the end of the play.
And Orwin Smith catches the ball and slips into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, how about Orwin Smith? Paul said we think we'll see him in the second half. He got hurt in the first half, comes back, catches the ball, and gets it in there. We had a delightful visit with him. Talked to us about how much he wanted to win this football game. He's aware of the streak. They all are. And now they got a 14-point lead, just like they had a year ago in the fourth quarter against Utah.
Yep, lost that one in overtime. Orwin Smith, as Roby missed the tackle, and Tech leads by 14.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
First touchdown of the game. Vad Lee finds his running back for the second catch of the season for Sims. 7-0. Whittick, 9-yard. Great catch by Silas Red. Controlled it after he bobbled it, got in for the score, tied at 7. That's where we stood at the half. And then after a marvelous punt return, Tevin Washington gets the go-ahead touchdown in just a moment ago. Here's Washington, Orwin Smith, senior to senior, missed tackle, touchdown, and it's 21-7, Georgia Tech. Well, the attendance today, 47,922. Seating capacity here in the Sun Bowl is a little over 50,000. And many folks exercising solid judgment by watching on television. It is, despite the sun, really cool. 21-7, Georgia Tech. With a 14. Here's the kick. Take it 2 yards in. Marquise Lee got a block and a chance to get pretty good field position. Well, I'm really impressed with Georgia Tech's effort in this game.
Yes, and I mean, they've been able to do it with 2 quarterbacks. I think Paul Johnson made a smart move. He wants to play Vad Lee, but it's still not quite there. Tevin Washington staying in the game, comes back and makes the plays. And when you got Marquise Lee with 18 yards, he's averaged 140 on the season,
right,
receiving per game. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it. You don't even have to have a voice to make that call.
But I can cough it with the best.
There you go. Got to challenge the deep zone. Georgia Tech is expecting the short pass. You got to challenge the deep ball.
There's the pass underneath, out to the 38-yard line.
Lewis Young right there following Lee on the play. Accurate pass, good protection, but it was a quick pass. And I'll tell you right now, Georgia Tech, Charles Kelly, the guy who's probably auditioning for the defensive coordinator's job, is, I'll tell you, when I talked to him yesterday about it, he almost had tears in his eyes just for the opportunity to follow up and coach.
Whittick overthrows.
Had him open.
Xavier Grimble is tight end.
He's got a rocket arm, but the rocket arm's been a little too high. As you look at the yards, a very quiet, probably frustrating day for those two guys.
8 between them. And Whittick for the day is now 12 of 26 for a very modest 73 yards.
Let's see if Georgia Tech rushes 4. 3 for 12 on the day on third down conversions for USC.
Overthrown again. Intended for Robert Woods.
Yep, not even close. And I'm telling you, it takes, and you can see Marquise Lee is very frustrated coming off the field. You can't see it, I could see it. As he overthrow there, Lee is frustrated, looking at the coach. The coach told him, Lane Kiffin, settle down. Right now we got a young quarterback who's struggling. The veterans, as Matt Barkley is looking out of the sideline, not much he can do but tell Matt Whittick to settle down. You've got all the throws, just trust your arm.
Negrete this time with the wind at his back.
He used it.
Oh boy. That one taken with the fair catch at the 5-yard line.
Fair catch made by
Well, Marquise Lee, who finished 4th in the Heisman Trophy balloting this year. More than just a little upset, and I think the object of his displeasure is number 13.
CBS Sports presentation of the Hyundai Sun Bowl is sponsored by AT&T. New York Life Insurance Company. Bud Light. And by Hyundai.
We are back at the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Georgia Tech band celebrating now, their team up by 14. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Yeah, but now remember, fourth quarter, Georgia Tech's got those skeletons in their closet. You know, they got that streak of not winning in bowl games. Got the ball against the wind, 5-yard line. What do? 14-point lead last year. Is that TJ McDonald right there?
I think it was, yes.
Yes, it was.
Whoa.
If you got your free safety making tackles like that at the line of scrimmage, watch number 7. Wham! That's where you got to have the little play action pass. Right now, the USC defense can help Max Whittick. They get a stop here with a 3-and-out. Georgia Tech will have to punt into the wind, and they can give their quarterback a short field to try to get something going.
Fullback.
So much for short field.
Yes. David Sims again.
There's probably nothing more frustrating to a proud defense than to have the fullback run it right at you, right between those big tackles, and gain a first down. You get a big stop by your free safety, and all of a sudden they come back with a fullback plunge. You know, first play you put in on the first day of practice.
Right.
And they gas you for a first down.
Under 11 remaining. Washington fakes the pitch. Fakes the defender as well. As a flag down.
But that's a big penalty because Washington already had a first down when the flag was thrown. Comes outside. This is an easy keep. And the flag is thrown right before he gets tackled. I wonder if it will even be a first down and then backed up from that spot.
Holding, offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Darren Waller.
Darren Waller grabbed TJ McDonald on the play. He had him lined up. TJ ducked inside of him, and that was the play, but it still would have been a big play. Right there is where it happens. That's the call, but it was easy. It was, I mean, that would have been, McDonald would have got him for about an 8 or 9 yard gain, but it was one of those plays that 5-yard penalty because it happened downfield, so it's 1st and 5.
Fullback again. Wow. That's Zach Lasky, number 37.
It's the same play they ran on the first down before when they gashed him out from their own end zone. This time it's Lasky.
39-yard gain for Lasky.
A cross block. Look at that. They come down. Ray Bino comes down. You get those defensive linemen standing there looking at the fullback to catch, and all of a sudden you crash your tackle down and you pull your guard around. Back-to-back plays. The Georgia Tech scheme. They basically out-schemed USC. You know what? Monty Kiffin will be happy to see Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and get away from this look. Monty Kiffin, a long time, one of the great NFL defensive coordinators, might be having his fill of college football, right?
I think he intends to go back to the NFL.
Yep, he had a long year covering the spread and the spread option in the Pac-12. It's a really wide open offense. And today, after having a rough year, he gets the pleasure of handling the spread triple option.
Right. And a player is down at the 30-yard line.
And Georgia Tech has gone on what, over 250 yards rushing in this football game?
Yes. 256 so far.
Today's
21-7 Georgia Tech. They have moved from their own 5 inside the 30.
Just wanted to show you this team blocking by Georgia Tech when they sprung the fullback. A down block there, kick out back by the guard, but Goodhigh comes around and gets the free safety, McDonald. Watch his team precision. All day they've been blocking straight ahead. Now they crisscross, and the free safety gets picked off by Goodhigh. You get 3 people doing exactly right, and that's the little wrinkles of the triple option and why you're standing there, you're doing your keys, and all of a sudden saying, Coach, the keys ain't working.
See number 70, left guard?
Yes.
Aptly named Shaquille Elijahwan Mason. You think his mom and dad might have been basketball fans?
Well, that extra block by Goodhigh got him an extra almost 20 yards on the play.
Yep. That's David Sims, not much.
Hayes Pullard again, he's the guy playing that middle linebacker spot in this football game. Comes up, makes another big play, but it just always appears that USC feels on their heels to me. They're kind of catching. They're always looking for what's going to happen next. They're not able to take control of the football game defensively. They're almost reacting instead of acting.
Will Jackson from Knoxville. Lane Kiffin spent a short amount of time there. Very short. 3rd down and 4. Down the middle deep. Overthrow. Orwin Smith, who has a touchdown catch. It'll be 4th down.
On the throwback pass before for the touchdown, the guy going down the slot was open, so they tried to get it again. This time, Jawanza Starling, number 29, had no part of it. A little bit of a grab, but not enough to make the call.
Now into the wind.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. They're just going to go for it. That's why I was a little surprised they even threw the ball on 3rd down, because I was kind of figuring it was 4-down territory already. I thought they would run just 3rd and 4th down.
4th and 4 with a 14-point lead.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing's there. Good defense. That looked odd, too, to tell you the truth. Just a quarterback rollout on the play. I think that Paul Johnson would like to have that 3rd down call back. A successful drive that ended with not enough.
Yeah. Well, they moved all the way from their own 5 inside the 30, but they come up empty. Southern Cal has the ball when we come back. 21-7 Georgia Tech leads, and Gary alluded to what happened here a year ago in the Sun Bowl. Georgia Tech had a 24-10 lead late in the 3rd quarter on Keyshawn Neal's 74-yard interception return for a touchdown. But Utah came storming back. John Hayes found Devontae Christopher for a 28-yard touchdown to tie the game with just 92 seconds left. In overtime, Tech made a field goal, but the Utes scored the game-winning touchdown when John White scored from 8 yards out. And that sustained A mark that Georgia Tech is tired of seeing. They have lost 7 straight in bowl games, 2 behind Northwestern.
And it was kind of the beginning of the end for Al Groh with Paul Johnson. You know, he never, I don't know if Al Groh ever recovered with Paul. He never had a confidence again. Now,
play action, Whittick.
There it is. He missed it again.
Yep.
The middle of the field is open. That's where you have the opportunity to make the plays, and he's just not accurately throwing the football. Robert Woods runs a real nice square route here. Technician comes in perfectly straight, misses him. How many times have we seen Robert Woods dive or jump for the football today? 3, 4, 5 times?
Crossing route underneath on 2nd down. There's a bit of a block. And Southern Cal does move the chain. Marquise Lee, number 9. Little tussle on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And the tussle continues.
And I'll tell you, Georgia Tech's players are mad at their teammates, basically. Come on. This is how we can lose a game, by losing control of our emotions here in the 4th quarter. Silas Redd is the one that got the block to really spring Marquise Lee that time for the first down.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 48. 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
Nick Menical, number 48. Whoa.
And his own teammates got on him and just gave him a whole truckload of, that is not how we're going to finish this football game if we expect to win this game. Totally unnecessary.
That is the first down in this half for Southern Cal. Now they've got 2 wide left, 1 wide right, 1 running back, and 1st down and 10. Red squirts through and picks up 9.
The importance of this drive really can't be emphasized enough. USC's probably only going to get the ball, including this drive, 3 times max in the game. So they really, they're already going no huddle in the game. Lane Kiffin senses the same thing. They need a touchdown on this drive.
Red breaks a tackle. Silas Redd at the 10.
Red carries for a Trojans first down.
Silas Redd started the drive by getting the key block for Lee to spring him on the first down. Then they had the unsportsmanlike penalty, and now Redd has found the seam and got it down to the 11-yard line.
7:30, 7:28 to go. Short, crossing right again, inside the 10. Marquise Lee to the 5-yard line.
Nice patience by Whittick. He dropped it off for the touchdown in the first half, and he's patiently dropping it off to his playmakers right there on first down. The only guy who's got more jackets on than Vern is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. And he's at least, well, he's not in the sun. I'm not going to give him that. 2nd down 3. Saw the stats for Lee, 7 for a modest 41 yards. Batted down again. That's about 3 or 4.
Lewis Young this time came off the edge to bat this one down. They're using the bunch formations, and he gets up. The ball was going to be thrown out to the outside to Grimble. Would have been a touchdown.
3rd and 3 from the 4. 21-7. Aguilar goes way wide to the right. Marquise Lee in the slot. Here's Whittick looking at Lee all the way. Now he goes over the middle. Is it intercepted or incomplete? It is intercepted.
They played the Tampa 2. They stayed in the zone, and Whittick did not read it. A linebacker from the opposite side came back and get that play. That's the route to the outside. The linebacker steps right in front of it. Right in the middle of the field. He gets in there, never sees it, and makes the play. Wow.
Well, we just showed you the highlight from a year ago when Quayshawn Neely returned to pick 74 yards. He makes a big stop for Georgia Tech here.
Sure did. That one might be bigger than the interception return right there. They played the Tampa 2. That means that the linebacker takes the middle of the field. Max Wittick never read it. He saw the 2 free safeties. He thought the middle of the field would be open. He got snookered.
Washington, 2 or 3.
You know, Vern, you made the call there. It was 3rd and 3 from the 4. You know, I'm not, you know, the pass was a play that you could have called,
sure,
but they could have run for a first down also on that play. They did not have to throw for the end zone.
Second interception for Wittick in the ball game. Nice play. Great instincts by Quayshawn Neely.
Did his job, exactly his job. He went to the middle of the field and read the quarterback's eyes. Crossing route came to him. He didn't chase anybody down.
Washington slices through and picks up a Georgia Tech first down.
Yeah, and this is going to take 2 more minutes off the clock right there with that first down. And now it's going to look very bleak for USC to get through this game. You can see it right there. USC almost catching guys with their shoulders now at the end of this football game.
33 turnovers for USC, and that has helped explain a 7-5 record and a team that has lost 4 of the last 5 coming in.
You can see it. They're going to snap this ball when the play clock gets down, you know, under 5 seconds from now on in this football game.
Another run of the left guard, David Sims.
And right now, Lane Kiffin has to start thinking, when do I use my last 2 timeouts? Because his only chance is to get a touchdown on an onside kick now.
Who will win the BCS National Championship? Well, Alabama, 63% of you who voted. Notre Dame, 37%. Facebook.com CBS Sports. Interesting for all of us on our crew that we began the season back in September in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah, we began it with Notre Dame and ended it with Alabama.
Yeah, it's
right?
a pretty good bookends.
Yep.
2nd down and 6. 4:10 to go. That's just short of the first down. Kevin Washington. 4 to go.
Uh-oh. We might have to stop the clock here.
Yeah. He will spend the night in the Hooskow.
Guy has his clothes on. How cool.
Yeah,
that's no big deal.
Come on, if you're going to do that.
Right.
Well, inadvertently got his 14 seconds in the sun. Remember that guy that we opened the telecast with? He said, "You will stay in this jail?"
Right.
Well, there you go. Wish fulfillment. 3rd and 1. Back to play.
3:54 on the game clock. 3:54. We have a new 25-second clock.
Well, a week from tonight, Alabama, Notre Dame. Notre Dame with a brilliant season, 12-0. Alabama 12-1. The 1 loss to Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. Look at the defensive numbers for both of these teams. 11 opponent points for Alabama, 10 for Notre Dame.
Really can't wait to watch a football game. Alabama seems to be catching their 2nd win. Obviously, they got tired in the middle of the year, but Notre Dame seems to find a way to win every week.
3rd and 1 with 3.5 to go. First down, Georgia Tech.
Sure is.
You know, Gary, there was an incident between these 2 teams on Wednesday of this week, and it's no secret, you know, that the USC wanted to play for the national championship, and they did not want to be here. I mean, there's something about lipstick and a pig. They did not want to come here, and they voiced their opinions Well, then on Wednesday night, there was a function for both teams, a dinner, at which they were going to be jointly honored. The Georgia Tech Rambling Wreck showed up on time, stayed for, depending on whose explanation you hear, an hour and 15 minutes. Southern Cal never showed up. Lane Kiffin later explained they were only 30 minutes late, but by the time they got there, Georgia Tech had asked for permission and was given permission to leave. It made a lot of headlines here in town, and it led to the annoyance of the host committee and the citizens of El Paso. Why? That's the look of the dining room.
5 yards on the play.
21-7, time call. We're back in El Paso, and a reminder, as I started to say, we're back in El Paso. And a reminder that the Chief Postgame show from here at the Sun Bowl is coming up after the game. That was a pilot error, and I'm the pilot. The mic, I've learned, Gary, over all these years, it doesn't work so well when you've got it pointed at the top of the head.
There you go. Little note here, Big Ten official line judge Julius Livas retiring after 14 years in the Big Ten. This is his last game. It's also Mr. Livas' birthday today. There he is. He's been yelled at by the best of them here in the Big Ten.
Has he ever? Second down 5.
Yeah, it's either going to be the fullback or the quarterback holding the ball from now on. USC will be forced to use their last 2 timeouts.
Timeout. Southern Cal. Third final team timeout.
All right, now Washington and Paul Johnson, seniors, remember that bowl streak, a win over USC. They're getting in that huddle and saying, okay, we don't even have to stress our defense. 1 first down here and the game is over. Now, if we don't get it, we don't have to take any chances here. If we don't get it, we're still in good shape. But if we do get it, it's over.
(7-7) at the half. 3 and out for Southern Cal to open this third quarter. And Golden returned the punt, the first punt of the second half. Well, we were talking about that TCU-USC game in 1998, featuring that freshman running back named Tomlinson. 3rd and 2 with 2:37 to go.
Well, you know it's going to be a run. They're not going to stop the clock throwing the ball. And Georgia Tech just took a timeout.
That is their second. 1 left. Time called, and we'll step aside. 2:37 to go, fourth quarter. A lot of memories for all of us who come to El Paso each year. My first visit was 1988, Alabama and Army. Senility is not easy.
No, it's not that. Come on, you're sick, you're cold.
I know.
Temperatures today in the low 50s, no wind, and a blessed day on a blessed holiday season for these 2 fine football teams. I'm working again today with Pat Haiti. Pat, so ironic that these 2 teams with such storied football traditions come to El Paso to meet for the first time ever.
You're right. Remarkable tradition of these 2 institutions. 129 All-Americans between the 2, 8 national championships, and 2 of the most legendary coaches of all time, Red Blake and Marmy.
Tell you, you and Pat probably were out late together that night, weren't you?
No.
Pat, like me, stays home all the day.
Yeah, Cindy said, you're not going out with him. Well, I told Pat before the game, he's now the athletic director, of course, at USC, that he's kept a little more hair than I have in his slim figure.
Yeah, stopped again.
4th down.
Orwin Smith carries for no gain.
They went with the pitch again. Interesting on the 3rd down call. Remember before it was stopped, they tried to run the same play. It was stopped by Wes Horton before. They went with the same play again. So now what do you do? Is Paul Johnson's not going to roll the dice here and go for it on 4th down, is he?
What do you think? He's got 4th and 2. 2:05.
Well, he's going to bleed the clock as much as he can. Get it under, you know, a minute, 2 minutes, excuse me.
USC is out of timeouts.
I actually would take a timeout just in case USC jumped off. You'd get a first down. If you take the penalty, a 5-yard penalty wouldn't give you a first down. Keep your options open.
Paul's doing a little coaching now to Darren Waller, whose great-grandfather, I knew we'd get this in at the telecast. Great-grandfather was the legendary singer Fats Waller.
There he is, right
See,
there.
you're out doing all this social stuff now.
He was on Waller for not making a good block. Remember, he had that block on the penalty on TJ Waller. I mean, he may be a talented receiver in the future, but right now he better learn how to block or he's not going to be on the field.
4th down. You know me, I'm
and they might get it. They might get the 5 yards.
Did they really?
I think they did the same thing. What game did we do where they jumped off sides with the call? You remember the call where they...
in the backfield, move first, false start.
Oh, here we go.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Vern, can you remember which game it was when remember Alabama against Texas A&M moved?
Yes,
Remember that? Yes.
Yes.
They did the loud count right there, but that time they called it. I don't see anybody moving for Georgia Tech. Yeah, I don't see how that happened.
Well, Sean Poole, he is now going to punt.
That was a good catch there by the punt.
Yep. And the return up the sideline to the 27. Take a look at the penalty now.
Yeah, let's see if anybody for Georgia Tech moved first. Oh, yeah, you could see him barking. That's exactly what happened right there. He was barking out the call, and a good call by the referee. That bark, that sound as he moved to yell out the cadence, that forced the USC player to move. That was a great call by our referee.
Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 34, the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You know, this is normally well-disciplined Georgia Tech team, but there's
Yes.
a couple of those we have.
I think this is going to be taunting on the play, isn't it?
Yeah. Matt Connors, number 34.
Well, here we go. They might as well have gone for it. Now with the ball in the 42, they could have gone for it on 4th down. It'll still come down to an onside kick if USC can get the ball in the end zone.
Whittick with time, and it is battered down again.
Whittick's pass deflected by T.J. Barnes.
T.J. Barnes got this one, number 90.
So it's actually a new play. Yeah, everybody's doing it now. J.J. Watts kind of, perfected it. You had a guy back in your broadcasting days, Too Tall Jones. Remember, he made a living
Sure I do.
doing that.
Yes.
Took away your whole short passing game in those days back with Dallas.
6'9", about 270.
I remember at the Stinkley. Hard to throw short against him.
Did he ever sack you?
Probably. They all run together, to tell you the truth.
I understand that. It's like broadcast. Xavier Grimble made the catch.
Best throw of the day by Whittick right there. Well covered by Neely again, but he stuck it in there. He's gonna have another flag on this play? What happened on this one? God, are they gonna have roughing the passer again?
Wow.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 90 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Ooh.
My goodness.
Wow.
T.J. Barnes, who just blocked the pass.
He knocks him down, barely got, and then he helps him up afterwards. Thank you very much. I'd rather just lay here for a second, tell you the truth.
In and out of the hands of Marquise Lee. Another flag.
This will be the third, if it's against Georgia Tech, be the third one, 45 yards.
Following the play, unnecessary roughness, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
But I'll tell you, Paul Johnson, if they somehow lose this football game, will go berserk.
8 penalties, 84 yards. And it's Euclid Cummings, number 99.
Oh, he just barely shoved him. Come on, ref. Jeez. Just push. That's ridiculous.
Whittick, right side in the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Marquise Lee. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 75 seconds to go.
Ball ripped in there again, but this time the safety got over there in time to make the play and almost intercept the play. Chris Milton, was it?
Yes. Second and 10.
I don't know if I've seen many drives with 3 15-yard penalties on it.
Whittick too high yet again. Intended for Robert Woods. It'll be 3rd down. Well, it has been a less than satisfactory performance for Whittick and the Trojan offense. 3rd down 10. Here comes Woods.
It's just a 3 deep. It's almost like a Tampa 2 defense. 3-man rush. Guy in the middle. Playing the corners up. We're going to rush 3 again.
Into the end zone. Intercepted. Jamal Golden, who had the big punt return on the first punt of this half.
And I think that time it was Lewis Young who got his hand on the football, number 8. To make the play. Sitting back 8 deep. Let's see who got their finger on the football to pop it up. No, it actually was Neely again. How about the big plays that he made down the stretch? The interception for 1, and then he got his hand on and caused the interception on the last play. And Charles Kelly, who may have been auditioning for the, look at that. I know he has tears in his eyes. He almost had tears in his eyes yesterday when he was talking to us. What a performance by his defense today. And I know he's got mixed emotions. He said he learned so much from Al Groh, but Al Groh wrote him a note, said you got to go on. You got to be the leader. And he's done a magnificent job today.
1 minute to go. Whittick for the day, 15 of 38, 108, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And the drought has ended for the Rambling Wreck.
And our string of guys with crying or with tears in their eyes have stayed. How about that? Tears of joy and a Gatorade bath. Not bad.
1 more knee. Georgia Tech lost its last 2 games, had to petition the NCAA for a spot in this bowl game because they lost to Florida State in the ACC championship game to finish less than 500. They were granted that waiver, and they come in and knock off Southern California. For the Trojans, they lose 5 of their last 6. (21-7) final. And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. It was a punt return early 3rd quarter, and with the call, Wes Durham.
Golden stands at the 36. And Negretti tries to topspin one. Golden will play it on the hop, 45-50. Here's Jamal, 40, 35-30. Negretti to beat 20, 10, 5, and Golden reaches. Did he score?
Following the video review, it's been determined the runner's knee was down out of bounds. The ball was at the 1-yard line. First out.
And it took 2 plays, but Georgia Tech got the touchdown from Tevin Washington. They took a lead they never relinquished, and they win at 21-7. We go down to Tracy, who's with Paul Johnson.
Well, thanks so much, Vern. And first off, that's a cold Gatorade.
It's really cold, but it was worth it.
Oh, yeah, and what a job today by not only your team, but especially this defense as well.
I thought the defense played great. I mean, it was tremendous. We turned the ball over and put them in a hole a couple of times, but they just played their hearts out.
How about for this team and these few seniors to finally snap that 7-game bowl losing streak and get a win?
Well, it's great. I couldn't be happier for them. And the whole team showed up today to play, and I'm really proud of them.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Paul Johnson and the Georgia Tech football team defeats USC 21-7. Now let's take a look at the player of the game presented by Russell Athletic. Had an interception, playing in his 54th game for Georgia Tech. We give the honor to Rod Sweeting. We were coached along by the interim defensive coordinator for that one. And Sweeting with 3 tackles, 2 passes defensed, and a big interception, as Georgia Tech allows only 108 passing yards today. Final score 21-7. We'll be back in a moment here in El Paso with the Jeep postgame show. That comes up with Tracy Wolfson after these messages. And a word from your local station, Gatorade Bath, but he didn't mind.
CBS Sports presents the Jeep Postgame Show.
The long search for a bowl game victory finally is achieved for Georgia Tech. They knock off USC 21-7 in the 2012 Sun Bowl from El Paso. Time now for the Jeep postgame show. Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks so much, Vern. Now it is time, everyone, first off, to congratulate Georgia Tech for winning the 79th annual Hyundai Sun Bowl. We are now ready for the trophy presentations, and let's begin with John Fulmer, the most valuable special teams trophy. Here to present the trophy is John Fulmer, chairman of the Football Selection Committee. And it goes to Georgia Tech's Jamal Golden. Huge day today. With a big punt return and the interception to seal it. Congratulations. Next is the Jimmy Rogers Jr. Most Valuable Lineman Trophy. And here to present is Chairman Emeritus of the Sun Bowl, Jimmy Rogers Jr. himself. And this one goes to Georgia Tech center, Jay Finch. And congratulations, Jay. And now we are ready for the C.M. Hendricks Most Valuable Player Trophy. Let's welcome Sun Bowl Association President Gary Hansen to do the honors. And this one goes to cornerback Rod Sweeting, who represents a tremendous performance by the defense. We gotta talk at least one question with you, Rod, because this defense really showed up today after everything you've been throughout the season, and to hold this USC offense to what you guys did. How were you able to achieve this tonight? Let's redo that.
First off, I want to thank my coach, man. Coach Kelly, you know, half of the season he come in as a D coordinator. That's a hard job, you know. So I give all my thanks to him, you know, and my teammates, man. That's it.
And you're a senior to finally get that bowl win.
Yes, sir.
The importance of getting a bowl win for this team and for these seniors.
Oh, yeah, it's very important. Since I've been at Georgia Tech, I never won a bowl game, so the win on my senior is pretty good.
Well, congratulations. And finally, presenting the championship trophy to the victorious Georgia Tech team, here is the president of the Henday of El Paso, Oscar Leeser, and his wife, Lisa. Let's hear it one more time for Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech.
All right, Tracy, thank you. And in case you had any doubt whatsoever that we have a 7-second tape delay in this broadcast, obviously we don't. So we apologize for the unnecessary language that came out. And how about this interim defensive coordinator?
I actually think that Coach Kelly right there epitomizes my feeling of the whole year. A lot of unsung people in college football came through. He took the reins when he had to, showed up, led his team in a football game, got his daughter with him right there, especially in this year. What a football coach, and he did it when his time kind of stood up, and he did it.
Well, that's it for us. We started in Dublin back on September 1st. We had a lot of people to thank, most noticeably Craig Silver, Steve Milton, Steve McKee down in the truck and here in the booth. Katie McGuire, Chuck Gardner, Butch Baird, David Bolton. Great group. We will see you somewhere in September. Take your guests along with us. Final score, 21-7. Goodbye from El Paso and the Hyundai Sun Bowl.